Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
This week, in Van Buren, Arkansas, some long-standing family drama ends up with crushed skulls and a mystery that keeps the whole area on edge for years. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another insane edition of Small Town Murder. And today is no different than any other day. We are down in Arkansas today. We know what that Arkansas. There's a handful of states that really bring it hard murder time, and it's West Virginia, it's Arkansas, Missouri. You can throw in that mix. There's a whole bunch of them.
They're angry.
There's some angry stuff going on down there, and this is an angry murder. Before we get to that, real quick, just want to say thanks for everything you do for us, by the way. If you haven't done it, get on whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. It helps a lot. Just helps drive us up the charts. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Pick up not only your tickets for live shows that are for sale right now, like Seattle, Portland, and Detroit and Pittsburgh, but March 3rd, the rest of the year's dates are going on sale.
Shit.
with a couple of new dates in there that weren't announced earlier. We're coming everywhere. We're going. Well, that doesn't sound good, but we're going to be all over the place there. They're all going on sale with new shows in Boston, and Dallas has been added. We're sorry, Milwaukee and Phoenix. We definitely wanted to come there, but the dates didn't work out schedule-wise. We're sorry. So all the dates are going to go on sale. Denver, Salt Lake, Minneapolis, Chicago, you name it.
DC.
They're all coming. DC, Philly.
Yeah.
Get your tickets March 3rd. Atlanta. Get your tickets, everybody, on San Diego on March 3rd. We cannot wait for that. Also, while you're at shutupandgivememurder.com, get your tickets to the virtual live show.
Hey.
April 20th, 420 virtual live show. I am going to get Jimmie real stoned, and it's going to be hilarious. And you people want to see that. Trust me, we're going to have a wild case. Just like a regular live show, but in your living room instead of, having to go to a theater. So good stuff there. That's shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of your bonus material. And we have tons of it up there. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get the whole back catalog, tons of episodes, bonus stuff to go through, and 2 new episodes every other week. One crime and sports, one small town murder, and you get it all. This week, we have some really fun stuff. For crime and sports, we're going to talk about these old-timey death row baseball teams.
Yeah.
There was these weird, morbid baseball teams from, like, the early 1900s where you'll see a picture of, 15 guys that are doomed, 15 doomed souls, and, an 8-year-old kid as their bat boy, all dressed in the same uniform, hanging out in a prison yard. We need to know what the hell's going on there. So
it's got to be weird.
We're going to talk all about that. And for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about some very fun stuff. Defunct theme parks.
Oh, yes.
Bad idea theme parks. It didn't work out. Maybe they were in the middle of nowhere trying to make it a draw, and there's still nobody there. Maybe it was just a bad idea. We'll talk about them. So much fun there. That is Patreon.
Disneyland works. Let's make Levi's Land.
Let's do it. Or Freedom Land like they had in the Bronx. That didn't work. So that's patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the show.
Great.
That said, disclaimer time.
Yeah.
This is a comedy show. We are certainly comedians. We are going to make jokes, and murder is going to happen. But what we do not do, we go out of our way not to do, is we try not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why, James?
Because we're assholes.
Yeah, but
we're not scumbags. So that's how that works. So if that sounds good to you, man, do we have a crazy story for you.
Yeah.
If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe we're not a good match.
Man. Yeah.
Maybe this is a bad first date, and we pay the check and we go our separate ways. We're going Dutch.
Other places to be.
We're splitting it because neither of us like each other, so that's fine.
I'm not buying you fucking chicken.
No, you keep that. Your chicken is on you. Your glass of Pinot is on you. But
so you got cheap shit.
For the rest of us, though, you got red with chicken. What were you thinking? For the rest of us, though, that want to hear a crazy story and have a good time, I think it's time to sit back. Where are you right now?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I don't care where you are. What, are you a librarian at work? That's right. I want you to go over.
In there?
I want you to go over to the nearest 8-year-old, knock the Curious George book out of his hand, push him over in his chair, stand over his prone corpse, and say, "Shut up and give me murder." Hopefully that kid isn't dead, but just in case.
Goddamn book anyway.
You shouldn't be reading that, as we've talked about in crime and sports.
It's very weird.
Bad stuff. So that said, let's go on a trip. Jimmie, what do you say? We're going all the way to Arkansas this week.
All right.
Van Buren, Arkansas.
Yeah. After that one guy.
After the president, Martin Van Buren. Yeah. So, Martin Van Buren, yeah. And I only know
I
that.
thought it was Pat in my head.
And I know.
I was like, did we have a president named Pat?
I know for a fact, Pat Van Buren, that would have been a very, yes. I know he's the 8th president, only from Seinfeld episode with the Van Buren boys, and Kramer accidentally held up his hands while holding the, I think, grated cheese, I believe, and making the number 8, which is their sign because he's the 8th president. And ridiculous. So this is in West Arkansas. About 2 hours and 15 minutes to Little Rock, if you want to go to Little Rock for some reason. About 3 hours and 15 minutes to Ashdown, Arkansas, which was our last Arkansas episode. Free Bird for Life. If you remember that guy, that was fun. I do, and he was a lunatic. So this is in Crawford County, area code 479. Very quickly, with the history of this here, the area was settled by 2 guys named David Boyd and Thomas Martin. This is in 1818. these people constructed like lumber yards to serve as a fuel depot for traffic along the Arkansas River. So you'd stop off there to get fuel for your, fire.
For your rig.
For your rig as you went by. So they built a post office in 1831. It was known as Phillips Landing then. And then the post office later on was named after newly appointed Secretary of State and not even yet President Martin Van Buren. Yeah, he was just from Arkansas and was, brought to be Secretary of State, so they were naming shit after him. Imagine if they would have waited till he was president. They'd have named everything. Yeah. It would be Martin Van Buren would be the name of the state.
Whole damn place.
Whole damn place. John Drennan, along with David Thompson, purchased this entire area for $11,000, by the way.
11 grand.
The whole town was worth $11,000 originally.
And you own it.
And they own it all. So, yeah, that's when they started doing the firewood thing.
Okay.
1996, it seems like some of this town was turned to firewood when April 21st at 11:12 p.m., an F3 tornado hit this area, causing shitloads of damage, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine that. It spawned in Oklahoma and crossed over here and killed 2 people, injured 89 people, and caused $300 million in damage.
Wow.
To an $11,000 town, which is that's the whole tornado, but I don't know what it was in this town.
There's no way this town was $300 million, right?
No, I don't think so.
What did it do? Tear water pipes out of the ground?
That's what more could it do? Well, the two fatalities were small children from Fort Smith.
Oh, God damn it!
That's kind of shitty there. In 2019, there was a flood. The Arkansas River was suspected to crest at nearly 43 feet, which is
holy shit,
which is 21 feet above the flood stage, which seems like a lot.
40 feet of river,
which is double what it should be here.
That's so deep.
All of the levees that they had from the 40s held in place, except for one spot where it wasn't there, and it would have been worse, though, if they didn't have better levees. But still, it was a huge flood and a mess. Reviews of this town, let's talk about. Here we go. 5 stars. People seem to like this place.
Really?
Yeah, they seem to dig it. Here's 5 stars. This person needs to expand their culinary palate, let's just say. Yeah. 5 stars. Very small.
Tasty Freeze, yeah.
Wait till you hear what they're fans of.
Oh, boy.
Very small, but not too small. That's nice. Everywhere you go, you will recognize someone, from a pastor to your friend's parents. Okay, well, that sounds like a nightmare, but I'll continue. That's subjective.
A very tight. Everywhere you go, you see your very tight circle of your friends and their parents and your pastor.
And your pastor, which is super weird. Everywhere you go, you see your pastor? That'd be creepy, huh? Why are you everywhere?
You should get a restraining order, friend.
This is a pornography theater. Why are you here? Go home. There are many food selections. There's typical fast food burgers such as Wendy's and Burger King, pizza places like Domino's and Pizza Hut and Papa John's, Mexican restaurants like La Fiesta, Las Frisas, and more, chicken from KFC and Zaxby's, and ice cream places such as Brown's and Minga's.
Yeah.
The city of Van Buren also has lots of school spirit supporting the love for the green and white pointer dogs.
What is that?
That's their mascot, apparently, the pointer dogs.
Okay.
Which is fine. I like them. I have a pointer dog, so that's fine.
All of them?
Every one of them, damn it. Support them and eat at every chain restaurant that exists on Earth.
Exactly. Food, the culinary here includes everything from ketchup to mayonnaise.
Holy shit. Well, to salsa, too. Don't forget La Fiesta, Jimmy. They have a La Fiesta over here. We ain't got guacamole, but we got salsa if you want it.
That Pizza Hut has pretty good dressing
and ranch.
marinara.
My God. Here's 4 stars. I've lived in Van Buren, Arkansas almost all my life, and I absolutely love it. I do think we need less banks and more upscale places to eat.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone go, there's too many damn banks around here. You have as many banks as you need. That's how banks work. If they wouldn't be there if there was no money in it. So
Cleveland has a surprising number of them.
They have a whole district.
Holy shit.
The whole bank district we found. Stumbled upon the bank district.
One street has like 8 banks on it.
Well, they need less banks and more upscale places to eat. I agree with you there. You need more places. Now, upscale, downscale, any scale, just places. I also want to see more rehab centers here, as there is only Harbor House.
Okay.
So, less banks, more rehabs. That's what we
not
need.
A sign of a thriving community.
Well, yeah, that's a less commerce, more people stumbling back into coherence. That's what we need. Nothing wrong with rehabs, but just a weird take to have as
what's
a whole.
Your institution to methadone clinic ratio around here?
Yeah, it's a very odd holistic approach. Less banks, but
less money,
but
more drugs.
But less money, but more upscale places to eat. So those doesn't make any sense. Here's 4 stars. Very simple, to the point. I don't have a single issue. I feel completely safe.
Oh.
All right, then. Good for you.
Great.
3 stars. It's okay. That's 3 stars. That's perfect. It's okay. He goes on.
Right.
He's right. You're right. Okay is 3. Yeah. I have a few tattoos, one of which covers half of my chest to my elbow. This draws attention of the police here.
Put a shirt on, sir.
They're a couple years behind. I guess they think I'm a hooligan, but I'm a disabled veteran / full-time student at Independence University. I get harassed quite a bit by them. Oh, well, though. I serve this country, and I don't care what police think. I have a clean record. This is... This guy.
How frequently are you stopped? How can they see your chest tattoo, friend? If you've just got
you're
half
driving?
a sleeve, nobody fucking cares.
Put your other arm up on the wheel and hold the... I don't know what to tell you.
And put a shirt on.
Yeah, shirts are good also, but I don't know about Western Arkansas's shirt policies. I think they're pretty loosey-goosey over there when it comes to shirts.
The places that for fine dining, none of those require a shirt, I think.
No, I mean, some of them require shoes. And
Maybe, yeah.
Let's not get sloppy here. 2 stars. Van Buren is a great town to grow your family in, but not the best place to profess in a degree. You need to go farther out of state for that. Progress. I think they spelled progress and spelled profess.
Got it.
Okay. That's what I think that is, because otherwise I have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, they go elsewhere if you want to profess.
Let's go give them the benefit of the doubt on that. We'll profess the benefit of the doubt for this person, and we will progress to the next category, which is
fantastic.
People. There's 23,812 people here. Way more females than males. It's like over 53% female, which
really
I can't explain that at all, but who knows?
Sounds great.
There's a college in the area. That might have something to do with it.
Okay.
The median age is 33.4, which is lower than normal. A lot of 25 to 34-year-olds as well, for some reason. Okay. More people married than normal. More people are single with children than normal here.
Really?
Yeah, so people are getting together, fucking, and spitting some kids out.
And then getting rid of each other.
Then going back out on the town. Race in this town, 73.6% white, 2.2% black, 4.4% Asian, 1.6% Native American, which is higher than the average, and 14.9% Hispanic here in this town. The religion, just about normal. About 50-50 is normal. Here it's about 51%, but... the highest is going to be, of course, 27% of the people here are Baptists.
Baptist as fuck.
Baptists are, as we know, the Catholics of the South, obviously. So 0.0% Jewish. In this county, Crawford County, last election, 20.6% voted Democratic, 77.2% Republican, 2.2% Independent. Median household income here is about $39,634 a year, which is about $15,000 lower than the national average. And the cost of living, though, where 100 would be regular, here it's 75, which is low, but the housing is the real low thing. Median home cost here, $127,700.
Incredibly affordable.
Incredibly affordable. And if you are ready to afford it, we have for you the Van Buren, Arkansas Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for $718, so that's pretty low. Here is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,489 square foot house, 2.2 acres.
Yeah.
Big house, $1.
What?
It's an auction. $1 is your starting bid on this house.
You gotta buy a ticket.
It's also got a house. It's inside. It's full of shit. It looks like whoever was in this house just dematerialized. They were beamed to another planet and left everything. I'm talking there's like a thing of like 6-pack of paper towels on the kitchen table still. Like shit like that. Looks like someone
lived in.
They went to Costco, came home, and then just were beamed to Mars, and then now it's on the market for an auction.
Yeah, they had to go to Costco to get those things here.
All of this can be yours, everybody. Come on in. Here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,356 square foot house.
Oh boy,
it's nice. It's a nice.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a nice starter house. Like you got a couple of kids and whatever.
Sounds like a tornado softball.
It's not bad though. It's brick and wood on the outside, so it looks sturdy. It doesn't look like it's going to be at least taken to the next county. Maybe it'll be knocked to the ground, but not taken away. It's a real weird looking house though. It's very beige inside. A lot of beige. It's very neutral. It's nothing exciting. $225,000 though. So nice house. It's got a nice big yard and things like that. So not too bad. And here's the jewel here. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,510 square feet.
Good size house.
Good house. Yeah, nice.
That's a lot of house.
It's a lot of house. 5.5 acres.
Oh,
it's a good amount of property, and it's got 2 big fountains outside that are like right next to each other for some reason. This is our fountain section over here. We just put our fountains.
Our water moves.
We're going to get 4 or 5 more. It's just going to be a big old section.
I know we got 2.
Inside, everything's green.
Really?
Green.
Like
green.
Like
pea green.
Bright
green. Pea.
Yeah.
Like not dark, not like a hunter. a vomit, awful, disgusting,
green.
Toxic green. It's just the whole house. It's throughout.
Toxic waste green.
Toxic waste, scary green. It is awful.
Antifreeze green.
It's not good. You have to. There's a lot to do inside of this house. Let's just put it that way to make it.
All right.
To make your eyes be able to adjust to this fucking place. $599,000 for this little gem. Yeah,
that's so affordable.
I don't know.
5 acres, and all you got to do is get rid of the green.
It's not all, Jimmy. It's not all. It's you get in there and go. I don't even know where to start in this place. It's needs some help on the inside.
And then the fast food chain factory of your life awaits.
You're set. You can go right on down to the La Fiesta and settle in for a meal. Things to do in this town.
Yeah.
The Crawford County Fair.
Yeah, of course.
It's in Mulberry, which is nearby.
Okay.
Just in case you're planning on going, don't just show up in Van Buren.
Don't go expecting it's right around the corner.
Come on now, Christ Almighty. So I have the schedule here. On the Saturday schedule on August 27th. This must be a preliminary. From 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., it's poultry blood testing.
What?
You got to test them, make sure they're not on any coke or,
Yeah, make sure.
These poultry nowadays, they're doing a lot. The fentanyl gets in their system. You know how it is. You don't want that.
Make sure this meat's safe.
Got to blood test it there. It's random. They just pull your number. You have to go. It's like the NFL. The barbecue. The next couple weeks from then is the barbecue cook-off setup. Then there's a rodeo on September 9th.
Of course there is.
Rodeo with Rafter J. I don't know if that's a bull, a person, the MC, the clown. I have no clue who that is.
He usually teaches all the rafting down on the Arkansas River, but today
here he is.
He usually rides a blown up inner tube. Today's going to ride our bull
with a fan motor on it, like a big fan, like the swamp boats in Florida. This is the Arkansas Crocodile Dundee is Rafter J.
He wears a big vest,
a big old
life vest when he rides the bulls.
Oh man, there's a horse show on September 11th. There's
September 11th.
September 11th.
They're doing that on the saddest day that this country has ever experienced.
Horse show.
Horse show.
Come on, trot around there, feller.
Never forget, y'all.
That's the name of the second entrant. Never forget, y'all. That's the horse's name. You didn't know that? Wow. So did you read I didn't know you were doing research ahead of time, Jimmy. Wow, I'm impressed. I really am.
These are our two horses we're putting in. This one's called North Tower. This one's called South Tower.
Good. And this one's called Mohammed El Habib. I can't remember any of the hijackers' names. I apologize. I know that was very stereotypical.
That's probably good though.
Like 7 of them's name was Mohammed. So
Muhammad, it's
that's pretty close.
In the world.
That's pretty close. So Monday, September 12th at 10 a.m., all goats, sheep, and dairy cattle must enter.
All of them.
Bring them in.
You have to.
This
you
is
got no
it.
choice.
At 1 o'clock, the poultry entrance happens, followed by the rabbit entry as well. Bring your rabbits. Then Tuesday the 13th, family night, $1 per person, or one canned food item per person. So getting in pretty cheap here.
$1 or a canned food.
Yep. The broiler show at 9 a.m. I don't know what that is. Poultry judging, the rabbit show, dairy goat show, and the conclusion of the rabbit show. I guess they hold that out for last. That's your big
whole week of livestock.
It's all it is. There's the hogs and cattle entry at 12, home economics building. The hay show is at 6:30. The hay show. Oh boy, look at that hay right there. Oh man, that looks like good hay right there. It looks moist, but not like moldy. The hay show.
Are we looking at how it was baled or how it's growing?
I don't know. It's a hay show.
What could be so impressive?
Well, how could that draw an audience? That's what I want to know. What are they doing with hay where it can draw an audience? Mutton busting at 7 p.m.?
Yeah, of course. Got to get the kids on the livestock.
Got to have that. Then there's the heifer weigh-in at 8 p.m. Got to have those. Oh, boy. The Market Goats Breeding Sheep and Breeding Goat Expo show. That's going on. There's a carnival. Hey, Gospel Night happens on September 14th. It's Wednesday. Got to have Gospel Night. Then, what is this? The Thursday, Junior Princess, Little Miss, and Junior Miss pageants all go on that night.
These right now.
Oh, boy. Well, the Friday the 16th, that's Friday night is when the real main event happens.
Here we go.
The Teeny Princess.
Oh, my.
And the Tiny Princess and the Little Princess pageant as well, followed by a costume contest, which I would love it to be the one who wins would be I went as a 16-year-old girl and I'm actually a 45-year-old man, and I won. Yay, I won 2 contests in one night. That would be hilarious. There's a youth talent competition. Then there's a junior queen, Ms., senior Ms. pageants. So these are...
We're going to judge all of your faces. Every woman, get in here.
Anybody with a vagina, come to the arena for judgment. Be there at 9 a.m.
We'll tell you why we will not fuck you.
Babies right up to great-grandmas. Bring them all in. It's Judge the Ladies night.
I do not like this at all.
That is wild, man. Holy
I can't
shit.
believe it still happens.
That is like a lot. And there's like mutton busting and all this type of shit going on in between there. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in. Property crime is over the average, actually. It's about 25% high.
Yeah.
Things are going down here. I don't know why, but they are.
That's what happens when you tell some woman that you won't fuck her.
I guess so.
She'll light your shit on fire.
You judge Granny, she'll poison your pie. That's how it goes. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is also above average here. It's about 10, 15, 20% above average. It's high. I don't know what's happening.
Mad.
These people are pissed off in this town. Which is hilarious because we need to talk about a murder now. Let's talk about a murder, shall we?
Let's do it.
And they are mad because this story, a good chunk of this story, by the way, some really good detail, comes from a book, and the book is called Blind Rage. So they're just...
They're so mad.
They're so mad. It's called Blind Rage, a true story of sin, sex, and murder in a small Arkansas town.
Maybe stop telling people that they're not as pretty as this other person. Like, that sincerely hurts.
I guess so.
It starts rage.
This is well, you know what? It's kind of what happened here too, as we'll find out.
God, I can't wait.
It's there's no pageants involved, but other than that, this really goes along with the town stuff. It's a perfect setup this week.
Outstanding.
Let's talk about some people here, shall we? Okay. Let's talk about Ruianne Park.
Okay.
I think Ruie. Rui?
Yeah.
Right?
That's Rui, yeah.
Ruianne.
Right?
Yeah, Ruianne Park. Okay.
I mean, when you name somebody something, you can pronounce letters any way you want.
You can do it any way you want.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen
it could just be
crazy
Ruan.
shit.
We don't know.
I see. Well, I know they're two separate words, and when she's being kind of a dick to people, then you must call her by both names. But if she's just being, that's her way of like having some control over you.
Okay,
she's a character here. Ruianne Park here. Ms. Park is a character. Let's just say that. She is born in 1905.
Oh,
yeah, she's been around a while. And
sure has.
She is married to a man named Hugh Park.
Huey and Rui.
Huey and Ruianne, yeah. Huey and Rui.
Huey Ruiz.
Huey Ruiz. Oh, Jimmie. Oh, my God.
I want to name this couple so bad so many times, right to their face.
You just want them to be, an Asian couple that does rock covers at karaoke night. You are so bad.
Oh, my. I'm going to lose consciousness.
Happy birthday, Jimmie. Bust a blood vessel. It's Jimmie's birthday today, and he's going to explode a blood vessel in celebration of it.
If she is Asian and they do duets, people call them Huey Ruiz.
And their last name is Park also, which makes them sound Korean, but they're not. They're as white as you can be.
Oh.
She claims to be a descendant from the Mayflower people. So that's how we're talking
extremely British
extremely white people. And they're upper crusty too, this couple.
Oh.
Yeah, they think of themselves as kind of above a lot of the people in town a bit here. They have a baby in 1932 that lives one day and then dies and has no name. It's just Baby Girl Park is what's on the gravestone. Yeah.
When was this?
The 1932.
Oh,
it was during the
shit,
Depression.
Man.
You couldn't afford a name if you just weren't going to,
Probably couldn't afford that baby.
That's probably what I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it was that happened. So they're both into news and history and
absorbing information.
Hugh gave the noon news radio report from the second floor of the newspaper building for a long time.
Huey Ruiz gives the news?
Huey Ruiz gives the news. They do. They own a newspaper, as a matter of fact.
That's amazing.
Isn't that wild? How crazy is that? Is that amazing or what?
I can't get enough.
It's fucking wild.
This is the best couple that's ever existed.
I mean, they're really writing their own story, honestly. They don't need us, really. So
amazing.
They were co-owners and founders of the Press Argus newspaper, which I've actually gotten stuff out of for murders before. Yes, I've like a newspaper archive. So I was like,
incredible.
The Press Argus, I know that newspaper. Holy shit. So that's pretty wild. We actually, 6 degrees of separation from this couple.
Yeah.
We've talked sort of through them before. Or they've talked through us, I should say. So they own that paper. She says she was a member of a pioneer Arkansas family. Her family was one of the first in Arkansas. Everything's the first with her. She's a retired school teacher. Later on, she'll be a school teacher, then retire. She fancies herself the town historian.
Okay.
And
all right.
She really
knows things you don't know.
Absolutely. She knows everything. And she'll definitely tell you that you don't know anything also.
Boy.
She not only wants to tell you what she knows, she wants to tell you that you don't know.
Is she a hard woman to be around?
A little bit, yeah. She's a little bit difficult to be around. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. and by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
A little bit exacting. She's difficult. She was the founder of the Van Buren Garden Club and the Crawford County Historical Association. So
Garden Club.
The Garden Club and the Historical Association. She founded both of those.
So is she the one giving awards for like best lawn and shit like that?
I don't know if that or if it's maybe it's the way they. I don't know what the fuck does a gardening club do? I have no idea. Do they give awards?
In like
best tulips?
I don't know. In the historic jurisdiction of cities, they give like best garden and best
they have like walking tours and shit like that. Yeah, there's towns in upstate New York that do that, and it's like,
and then you get to have that plaque in your front yard all year, James. It's a fucking huge deal.
Rui Ruiz in the news said we have the best fucking. Look at us.
We have the best posies.
We have the best fucking tulips of all. Look at our daffodils outshining Phyllis. Yeah. That's what I said. Your daffodils can suck it, bitch. That's what I'm talking about. What'd I fucking tell you before this started? I
got some weak daffodils, Phyllis.
Salt the earth, bitch. It's over. Give up.
Start over.
So, she did all that kind of shit. Also a member of the Van Buren Historic District and the Women's Literary Guild as well.
That's got to be what it is. She's got to be part of that like really nice area of town.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she gives a fuck and wants to see everybody give a fuck about their place too.
She keeps her house like a palace, and everybody says it. Her son has a nickname for it. We'll talk about all this.
Really?
Oh yeah. She's one.
They got a Bubble Hill.
She's the type of mother and matriarch that the people in the family, when she's not around, spend most of the time talking about her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
How tough she is. She did this. She said that. She's one of those people. You know, like you've ever had jobs like that where if everybody's hanging out outside of work, they're just talking about what a dick the owner of the company is? Or she's that type of person where it's difficult. Right. She's difficult to get along with. She's a member of the General Society of Mayflower Descendants of America, of course.
Wow. Across the country, she's part of that shit, too.
Daughters of the American Revolution and the Pilgrim John Howland Society.
Holy.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of shit, man.
She fancies herself as a very important person.
She absolutely thinks she's a very important person. And she believes that everyone should be, and probably is, looking up to her as they should be. Whereas most of the people think she's just kind of a stuffy, kind of one of those ladies that just kind of people go, oh, Jesus, they roll their eyes at her type of thing. But she's a smart lady, and she does a lot, and she's accomplished.
Try her teacher, James.
I would say so.
It's not easy.
That's not easy. And to do all those things, she's founding, societies. I don't know how to do that.
She's busy.
You know how to found a society? I don't know how to do any of that.
I mean,
you probably need paperwork.
There are lazy ways, I'm sure, but
we could just all get together. But to have a sign and stuff, you got to call somebody and have them make it and decide on a font.
Is it stationary? Yeah,
stationary. Do we have to? Is there tax implications here? Do we need to fill out anything?
Is there a letterhead?
Who does that? Is that me? Do I want? See, I'm already done. I don't want to start a club anymore. See, she did all that stuff.
She's got several of them.
She did everything. So here's a quote from Anita Paddock, who wrote the Blind Rage book. She's the author of the book, in case you're going to buy it. She said, quote, "She wanted to be involved in everything. She thought she was a real upper crust lady."
Yeah.
That's what she said. She said, "I wouldn't say she had any enemies, but she did not have a nice personality." That's the author of the book. It's nobody would dispute that.
Okay.
There's nobody who would say, "No, she's a sweet old lady. She's she's a big teddy bear." Nobody says
asshole.
that. Everybody goes, "Yeah, she's a tough one. Tough lady." So Hugh and Rui have a son in 1942. So no kids between Dead Baby Girl Park and
52
and 42. So 10 years
42.
go by.
Okay.
10 years go by. So
that's
she's
a long time.
Yeah, she's 37 here. She's she's back then 37 was old to have a kid back then. I mean, they would be like, "Oh man, it's going to come out all cross-eyed and stuff."
Right.
Like they didn't. Nowadays,
do the rest of his life.
Yeah, nowadays it's a lot different. Obviously, women have kids into their 40s, and it's with a lot better success. Back then, it was
perfectly fine.
Not really like that. They would go, "You're pushing it, lady." So Sam, the son's name is Sam Hugh Park, and everyone calls him. The whole family calls him Sam Hugh. So
to his face,
his name is They don't just say Sam, even though he's the only Sam. It would make sense
Hugh in there.
if Dad's name was Sam too, and he's Sam Hugh, so you call him Sam Hugh. That would make just not Sam Hugh.
What the fuck?
That's so much extra effort. I don't get why you'd call him that.
You don't go from to in like one fluid motion.
Sam Hugh.
Yeah, you almost got to take a breath in between words.
That's what I mean. Or either that, or you just end up calling him Samu. 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 That's who you'd be.
Yeah, you just take off the L.
That's it. Yeah, fuck
From
it.
Samuel.
That's it. Samu. So Sam Hugh Park, he's born in 42, and when he's 5 years old, the couple decides, I wish we had more kids. That'd be nice. But pushing it on age-wise, and she's 42 now. And
adopt?
Well, they decide, let's adopt. Yeah. Why not? And this is, this is 1947 they're adopting here. It's right after the war. People have good feelings.
42 years old.
Yeah, exactly. So they adopt a 7-year-old girl, which is great.
Hold on. You're going to adopt my older sister?
Older sister.
You can't do that to me.
But that's nice because
keeps you the baby forever.
Also, not just that. For Sam, I'm saying it's a nice thing to do to adopt a 7-year-old because kids have a shelf life when it comes to adoption of how desirable they are to adopt.
16-year-old's not so cute.
Yeah, you need to have diapers on, which is weird. You'd think they'd want, like, as soon as they're out of diapers, give them to me. But
yeah, all right.
For some reason, though, diapers seem to be the big thing. Once they're out of diapers, they're like, "Oh, I don't know, that kid's."
Yeah, your potty training, you're still here.
That dog's 2. I don't know what it's been through. I don't want to bite my kids. It's one of those things. But it's nice to do because 7-year-old kids, it's a little kid. They need a family. So
adoption is kind of like comedy. It doesn't get easier as you get older.
No, it gets much more difficult. No one's looking for you.
Yeah.
What are you, 51? What are you, a 51-year-old opener? No one's looking for you. And what are you, a 7-year-old familyless kid? No one's looking for you either.
Nobody's
Sorry.
looking for you.
No,
Sorry.
You got to really push through you got to be the best to come through.
You better catch a rising stars looking for 7-year-olds.
Yeah, because you're in deep shit. So Linda, her name is Linda, the little girl. Linda Susan Park. Linda Sue. So she'll later on be Martin. That'll be her married name, but she's Linda Sue Park. So she was very shy and very skittish as a young lady, which again, she's 7 and
she's been foster homes and shit.
In a 40s orphanage too. We're not talking about. We're talking about like Little Orphan Annie shit. Like think about old-timey orphanages as it seems very scary and dark. And,
they're scary today, and there's cameras everywhere.
And there's
Christ's sake.
Whole people that there's all oversights of them. Back then there was no oversight really of this shit. They said, oh, that's nice, you're taking care of those kids. Whatever happens in there is fine. We don't want to take care of them, so.
Hey man, with a handful of dildos, take these children and take care of them.
There you go, please. So. The problem is she's very much afraid of her own shadow. She's very jumpy. She's very skittish. And within a month, the mom was saying that it was a mistake to adopt her.
Oh, my God.
Not to her face, but telling Hugh, telling her husband, like, we shouldn't have done this. This is difficult. Yeah. And, if you're going to adopt a 7-year-old, it's probably not going to be smooth sailing. You're signing up for a difficult thing.
Right out of the gate, yeah.
Yeah, if you sign up to climb a mountain, you're climbing a fucking mountain. You can't go, Jesus, what is this, a mountain when you're halfway through it?
I'm really out of breath.
Good Christ, man, it's high up here, right?
Are we there yet?
God damn it. Ah, shit, it's all the way up there. So, but Hugh said, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Here's a quote from that author of the book. Quote, when she first got Linda, she dressed her up in these cute little dresses, big bows in her hair, and it was like, look at me. I'm the most magnanimous woman. I've got this little girl out of the orphanage. But people saw through that.
Yeah.
So everybody thought it was like she was just adopting this kid as like a
prop,
almost a prop, like she had an Instagram account or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And this was going to be advantageous to her business of whatever the fuck. So it's very strange. She's a real shy kid and she's not as smart as Sam Hugh.
Well, yeah, they don't.
Sam Hugh's a very smart kid and she's not as smart, which, I mean, some people aren't as smart as some people. That's all.
Also, this 7-year-old's probably not been given the gift of decent schooling. She's
in an
probably
orphanage.
Been passed from school to school. She may have been from orphanage to orphanage, foster home to foster.
And
who fucking knows?
We don't know. And who knows if all else was equal, maybe just some people are smarter than other people. That's
true, too.
You know, some people are just born with a, there's a people way smarter than us. We know that, and that's fine.
Sometimes it takes two. I mean, you look at a puppy, you get to see its parents. You don't get a 7-year-old and get to have a gander over the
take a
stock
peek.
she comes from. She may come from dipshits.
Let's see the teeth. Pull up the. You don't get to.
Sometimes I wonder why I'm not a brilliant person, and then I go, he's my dad.
Yeah. You don't get to look people over in 1947 anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. So you're taking a chance with a kid is what we're saying. So, you're having a kid, for Christ's sake. You have to, you got to be in for all of it.
Absolutely.
Once you adopt them, they're your kid at that point.
It's responsibility.
Mom was very overbearing with Linda, though. Everybody said that. Would pick out her clothes and force her to wear what she wanted her to wear, which was fine. But she would have her wear shit that like Rui would wear.
Yeah.
Like stuff that she thought was good, which is not what a teenager in 1955 wanted to wear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Nice things from 1912 are not nice things in 1955.
A high collared Victorian dress isn't exactly what's cool in 57 while Elvis is on TV. You know?
The fuck are these buckles on my shoe?
Yeah, this is a completely different deal here.
Yeah.
We're talking, those poodle skirts and all that kind of shit was what was hot at that point. So
pushing boundaries about what can show too.
Absolutely. So the kids too, Sam, Hugh, and Linda, never really too close growing up.
Right.
Even though they're only 2 years apart, they would fight as kids. That sort of shit.
She's gonna hold a little bit of resentment too.
He'd call her names.
The fuck, Sam?
When she got to be a teenager, he would call her names. He'd call her Olive Oil and Fig Newton for some reason.
What is that?
I don't know why Fig Newton. Is she, disgusting on the inside with a delicious cookie thing on the outside?
And is that all she eats?
Yeah. We've talked about this before. The outside of a fig Newton is magic, and the inside is
delicious.
you can tar your fucking driveway with. Except there's little seeds in it, too, to make it. I could tolerate it minus the seeds. I can't tolerate. Oh, crunch. Gee, that was.
Right. They get stuck in between a molar. You can't get that shit out.
What's going on here? I don't want this in a cookie.
I felt it crack, and then I felt my teeth go apart. Now I can't move it. I get to heat this shit and patch the the holes on my roof. What is this?
One fucking Newton, and I need a floss stick. This is terrific.
But that cookie, oh man.
Oh, that cookie. Oh, the softness. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So Sam Hugh was allowed to drive the family car, but she wasn't for some reason.
She's older, and so
yeah, stuff like that. Darling, you're not smart enough to drive. Like, if you need a ride, ask your brother once he turns 16. Is a weird thing to do.
Wait a couple of years, he'll take you to school when you're 18.
Yeah. No, Jesus Christ. You're going to have to drop out until then.
You can go get credit and buy your own car, or you can wait for a child to drive you around.
One of the two. It's up to you. She had to really, and mom expected her to have great grades and be, not embarrass her, essentially. Right. So, and she had to work really hard to get those grades. She had to study very hard. It didn't come easy. Whereas the brother, Sam Hugh, never studied, had all A's. All the teachers would tell mom that, your kid's a genius and he's really smart and all that kind of shit. And mom said he is the smartest young boy in the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and dead child, him, right. And then she's got like a dead and an adopted child on both sides, and then her little magical boy here. So it's kind of how it was. And Linda knew about it, and she resented it, and and she knew. I don't know. Yeah. It sucks. And having been adopted at an age that you can remember,
right?
Like
not just remember that, but you remember like how bad it was for you.
Exactly.
And
then
you remember this.
You remember getting a family.
Which is which. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're adopted when you're a year and a half old, you want to be treated the same as your siblings, and you're a fucking family. You right. Remember us all being here. But if you came in at 7, you might come in with an attitude of, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to be sent back to an orphanage.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that might linger with you for a long time. A inferiority complex, I can imagine.
A
little bit here. Now, the Press Argus ended up going out of business, as most newspapers did at a certain time here. Now, Hugh and Rui divorce in the late 60s. Yeah.
Oh.
They get a divorce. Absolutely.
Is Linda old enough to go be on her own, or does she have to pick one?
Yeah, no, Linda's like 28 when this happens. Yeah, this is like the late 60s.
Shit, that's a long time to stick together to.
Yeah.
What do you need a divorce for now?
Yeah, right, what are you doing?
Who gives a shit?
Hugh ends up remarrying in a couple of years and everything. He gets back out there. He doesn't give a shit. Hugh is slinging some ding-a-ling over here. He doesn't care at all. He's like, let's do it.
60-year-old man. He's had enough of this lady. Just wants to be happy.
Who wants some? Who, like a newspaper, ink all over his hands? I'm ready. It's my time. So
remarrying.
She would always, people said you'd always see her down at the courthouse. She'd be like looking up weird shit, marriage licenses, divorce decrees, tax liens, historical shit. She's always looking up, but she's like nosy too. So she might just be looking up people's shit. She's always publishing articles in historical journals around the state, and she's doing all that sort of thing. From an article, they say the sheriff remembered about her the most is he'd see her. She always looked like she just woke up, and she would forget to dye her or comb her hair. She had like dyed red hair, and it'd be all over the place. But she'd always have bright lipstick and rosy red rouge on her cheeks.
Did her makeup, fuck the hair.
And she wore galoshes even on sunny, warm days.
Oh, boy. She is a fascinating woman.
She is a character. Let's just say that. I found a newspaper article from like 1965 where she was injured in a car accident here. Huh. She was hospitalized. She was 61 at the time, so that was 1966. And she's hospitalized. She's in the car. Let's see here. Mary Frances is her friend, her daughter's friend. Harold Martin and Linda Harold and Linda are her daughter and her daughter's soon-to-be fiance. So an unidentified man stopped his car in the line of traffic to talk to a driver going the opposite direction and caused a fucking pileup.
What are you doing, you asshole?
Hey, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Just slam it. Hey, is that Bill? Stop the car.
Just stop in the middle.
Gotta say hello.
In the middle of the intersection, and the unidentified man left the scene of the accident as well. Never mind. I thought it was Bill, but it wasn't. Just keeps driving.
Shit, damn, I'm going to be in trouble.
Oh, Jesus, this isn't good. So Linda and Sam Hugh both go to the University of Arkansas.
Oh.
Very different experiences there, though, we'll say. Yeah, Linda has a hard time. He flies through it, goes to law school. Sam Hugh. Oh, yeah, Sam Hugh really does some highfalutin shit over here.
He's really suey pigging, huh?
You bet your ass. She meets Howard Martin, in college there, and he is her first and only boyfriend up to this point. Yeah. She said that she found him. She thought he was cute because he was in the Navy and he had a short haircut, and it was in the late 60s, and all the college kids had longer hair. So she thought it was she liked to make fun of him for it. Look at you, you're a dork and all that kind of shit. So, but they didn't go hang out and drink beer and do all the normal shit. They went to church parties when all the other kids were going to keg parties.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's how they are. She, by the way, Rui, highly religious, big in her church and all that kind of shit as well. Yeah. So 1966 is when Linda gets engaged to Howard, and they're going to get married. There's a big announcement in the paper. Yeah. In the society section of the newspaper.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The Northwest Arkansas Times, I got this from. There is a big fucking picture of her, probably a 16th of the page, a big giant.
Down to the Martin Park wedding.
A big picture of her, and it says, it's been the engagement of Miss Linda Susan Park to Howard L. Martin has been announced by Mrs. Rui Ann Park of Van Buren, mother of the future bride. So they go on. Blah, blah, blah. So even when she gets married, Howard basically takes over the role of mom.
What do you mean?
Howard picks out all her clothes now.
Oh, what?
Yeah. She can't
She's
Linda.
Adult.
She can't operate, though. She's always had her mother doing all of this shit. And I don't know if she doesn't want to. I don't know if she wants to be, cared for like that, or if this is just she comes from a domineering place and found some other domineering person because of that. You know what I mean? We don't know. It's.
I'd like to know how that role began. I'd like to be there for the fucking conversation.
That's right. Yeah. I'll pick out your shit, dear. What?
Why aren't you dressed? You didn't put my clothes out. That's why.
Jesus, because she's just standing there in her bra and underwear.
Yeah, let's go.
It's really fucking strange, though, that I don't know. I can't imagine telling your wife, I'm going to pick out your clothes for you. What? Or if they were I'm picking out your clothes for you without asking, he'd be like, I'm good. I can dress myself.
Yeah. Or she just sat at the edge of the bed and just naked and be like, where are my clothes?
What do? I don't understand. So 1974, Hugh, dad, dies of a heart attack.
Oh, damn it.
Pretty sudden heart attack. He'd been remarried and all that kind of thing. So
just banging away.
He's banging away. The heart attack was after number 4 for the day, and he was just, his heart gave out. It was weak. He was too weak. Yeah. He couldn't do it anymore. He was 70 years old, and it all fell apart. Now, Hugh got along with Linda very well. Linda and Hugh were close, and she was more of a daddy's girl than anything to do with her mom. So Linda was very upset by this, obviously. But she started.
I understand. This is a girl that may have been through trauma. This may be just a protector and father figure that she's always wanted.
I don't know what happened to her original parents, too. Both her parents might have died when she was 4. We have no idea. Yeah. So this might be just another, we might be really stirring it up. So now, Rui's house, okay? Sam Hugh calls it the Winter Palace.
Oh, boy.
That's what he calls it. Now, a friend of his asked him why he called it that, and this is the answer that Sam Hugh gave. Quote, read the book, Shadow over the Winter Palace. It's about the Russian Tsar Nicholas II and his crazy wife. That's the only explanation he gives.
No, motherfucker, don't give me homework. Tell me why you call it this. Go read a book. Fuck you!
You just assigned me literature. What are you talking about? It's about the
Read a
Russian
book.
Tsar Nicholas II. How about you synthesize it into a fucking 2 sentences and tell me why you call it that, asshole?
It's like a girl breaking up with you. Be like, why do you want to break up? She's like, go listen to this album. What?
Yeah, no, I'm not listening to your whole
Just say I
mixtape
don't want
to try to glean the reason. Yeah. Tell me. I made an asshole out of myself in front of your friends. Say that.
Go listen to Casey and JoJo. No, you listen to
Yeah,
him.
I'm not listening to fucking Albie Shore. Kiss my ass. Why we picked
Grow up.
1989 as a time when this is happening.
Tell me why you don't like me.
God damn it. I found an article from 75 where it says UA, meaning University of Arkansas, library gets Civil War letters. The letters were donated to the library by Mrs. Ruey Ann Smith Park of Van Buren, who long has had an active interest in the history of Arkansas in the Van Buren area. She has a special interest in the genealogy of the Shibley family, of which the two brothers were members of, and which was prominent in the Van Buren area. So it was 47 letters written from 1862 to 1863 by William Henry Harrison Shibley, William Henry Harrison Shibley. That's not the president, I don't think. That's a different guy. And John Samuel Shibley. So there you go. They were people in the Arkansas infantry.
And this year of letters matters to her a lot.
Yeah, she collected them and she gave them to the university who are going to publish them in some kind of, I don't know, academic volume or whatever the shit. So Linda and her husband Howard, they end up having 3 kids over the 70s. They have 3 boys. So, 3 boys. Now Sam Hugh, on the other hand, doing his legal stuff, Senator William Fulbright, apparently knew Hugh Park, knew the dad, which the dad was he owned a newspaper. He's going to know a lot of prominent people, for Christ's sake. They're going to want.
She thinks she's in the upper crusty shit. We're going to have senators as friends.
Yeah. Well, apparently Senator Fulbright owed Hugh Park a favor.
Oh.
So I don't know how you get in a senator's debt, but that seems probably shady. I don't know.
Sounds like you may have written a couple of things for him that were beneficial.
Or they might know each other personally, and he,
Maybe,
I have no
Took him
idea.
fishing once.
Yeah, exactly. Took him up to that cabin that he told them all about that time. We don't know. So they had a wonderful romantic weekend up there. It was beautiful. Hugh Park Sr. and Senator William Fulbright massaged each other's bulbous, hairy bodies with lotions and oils before laying out on a bearskin rug in front of a roaring fire and exploring each other with the ferocity of a bobcat.
They
Maybe
both
that's
came
what happened.
home to their wives.
Oh, they came
questioning
home,
the
all right.
Scratches on their back.
Yeah. And the stains on the bearskin. So, of various hues. Not hue, hues. So,
The
full.
first one was very yellow.
Very yellow. And the other one was definitely more in the brown range. So they got Senator Fulbright apparently got Sam Hugh a job as an assistant United States prosecutor.
Wow.
Yeah, he's an attorney. I mean, he passes the bar and all that. By the way, there's always a little bit of animosity between Howard, who is Linda's husband, and Sam Hugh. They both went to Arkansas at the same time and are both attorneys. But Sam Hugh is like, he's very smart, top of the class, and passed the bar on the first time, whereas
Howard's chasing ambulances.
It took Howard 2 or 3 tries to pass the bar. And so there's a little bit of jealousy there,
Okay.
It's that kind of thing. So he had an office in the federal courthouse at Fort Smith. And, he was there. And then he opened up an office of his own after about a year. So that way he had a credit. He's like a comic. He's like, I can tour now. He's on a sitcom for about a year. Now he's got a credit. He's going out there. God damn it.
He's a recurring character.
I was the neighbor. I was neighbor number 1. I was like the 4th lead. So, my name came up in the beginning of the show. I wasn't even and later on. It was
a starring.
Yeah, it was like 6 of us, and I was like 4th. So that's pretty good. So he does all of that. He starts his own thing. Everybody knew he was very smart. People called him the smartest man in the county all the time.
Oh, my.
He made good money, but his personal life is a in a bit of a shambles, Sam Hugh. Sam Hugh, first of all, Sam Hugh is gay.
Okay.
So that's fine. But I assume it's difficult to be gay in the 70s in Arkansas.
I bet it's difficult today.
In Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Arkansas. I bet it's difficult to be straight in Arkansas. It's just difficult in Arkansas. I don't think your sexuality has a fucking thing to do with it, if we're being honest here.
Right.
Sorry, Arkansas. But, so I'm just saying.
And he's open, or is he closeted?
Everybody knows about it. I mean, he doesn't go out. He doesn't, like, come into a room and
right.
He's not.
He just walks in and everybody goes, "Well, that guy's clearly gay."
They just know. Everybody knows. It's not, like professionally, it's not a secret at all. But I don't know how quote unquote open he is. But
got it. Yeah.
It's known. It's a small town. You're not gonna. You know what I mean? You're not gonna hide. They know if you've been up at the cabin with the rug. They understand that. They know what's going on. So he liked to party a lot and spent his money. Just really pissed his money away. Lot of liquor, a lot of younger guys as he starts to even push in his 30s, a lot of guys that are in their early 20s, shit like that. A lot of people he would just like people from that just got out of the county jail, young guys that he liked, he would take them in.
He likes a bad boy.
Sometimes he'd be supporting as many as, 2 or 3 guys at the same time, young guys that'd be coming to his house. And he's partying. I mean, if you replace it with young guy, went to law school, hotshot lawyer, now he's banging all these chicks, going out, spending liquor. He's got 2-3 different chicks he's banging. Yeah. Sometimes he's supporting them. He had a couple, he goes to the strip club and finds strippers and talk. We'd be like, well, I mean, he's living the life he wants to lead. So it's kind of.
But
it's just the gay version of that. That's all.
You better protect yourself. If you're picking up chicks from the county jail,
you got to protect yourself.
You better think a little bit about who you're bringing into your home.
You're going to get some Kai the hatchet-wielding hitchhikers once in a while is the problem.
At least 1 or 2, for sure.
So he lives, toward the late 70s, he lives in one of his mother's 3 rental houses. His mother has 3 different houses that she rents out, and her own home, the Winter Palace, of course.
She did fine.
Yeah, they're one of the wealthier families in town as well. So, I mean, they owned a newspaper. Again, how do you start a newspaper? You know how to do that, Jimmy? We can't even start a gardening club. We went through this. We can't start a gardening club. I don't know how we started this podcast. I don't know how.
I don't know either.
How we figured out where to put it and how to get it out to people. This is shocking. The fact that there are hundreds of thousands of people listening right now is shocking.
It's crazy.
Absolutely mind-boggling because we don't know how to do anything. Either of us. We're totally dumb. Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad.
Right.
There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
But when I do know also that when newspapers were thriving, once they were started and started thriving, holy fuck, they did not go away until a giant invention clobbered them. They stuck around and they were holy fuck lucrative.
They were very lucrative, and then in the 70s you started to get consolidation where the big boys were buying up all the small ones like radio did later on.
But that was great for those little ones because the guys that found it and the families that stuck around, they had huge money.
Yeah. But then you'd start to not have those little regional papers because they would cancel those, so their bigger paper would have more circulation. And then obviously once the internet came, that was that.
Now we don't need you.
Now like what is this?
Now we have somewhere else to get the wrong information.
What is this dirty thing I'm holding? Right. Yeah, somewhere else to go. The house he lives in is right across the street from the Winter Palace. Oh, directly across the street. So
really?
She owns that house. He's kind of a fuck up as a lawyer because he's okay as a lawyer, but he's hungover a lot. He's partying a lot. He's not concentrating really. But there's not that many lawyers in town, so he does fine.
To work anyway
because people need a lawyer, and so they go to him. And he has a secretary as well that he employs, so he has enough money to make a living, support some dudes and that get out of county, and have a secretary.
Is he working prosecutor or defense?
He's a defense attorney.
Okay.
He was a prosecutor. Then he opened up you can't be a freelance prosecutor.
Great point. Yeah.
I'm going to open up my own office. I'm going to put you in jail. Who do you work for? Myself. Okay.
Hired my own police force. We're just making cases.
Just made your own badge out of something, put it on. Hi. So,
land of the free. I'm doing
Incredible.
it. Yeah.
He fights with his mom a lot.
Really?
Yeah, Linda lives a couple hours away. Linda lives by Little Rock in a town called Cabot, which is a couple hours away.
She got out of here, yeah.
Yeah, with her husband and does all that. He lives across the street.
Oh, no.
Which is a little too enmeshed, you know what I mean?
That's inner line of sight.
That's
too far. That's
she can say,
close.
Why is the yard so long? Cut it, like shit like that.
Why are you in that room?
They fight all the time. A lot of the fights are about all the guys that he brings home all the time. And that live there, and everything. She said that, they ruined. All these guys are ruining the neighborhood.
Yeah, there is that downside of living that close, and also renting from your fucking mother.
That's you got to get out on your own. He has one guy who is kind of always around, kind of a boyfriend, sort of like they're the most together, but bitch. Yeah, but they also he has other. They're not an item, but they're an item. You know what I mean? They're not exclusive, I guess I should say. They're not going steady, but they're very associated with each other. So much so that the guy's name is Santos. He was actually invited to Thanksgiving dinner at Rui Ann's house.
Okay.
Even though she doesn't like him. She invited there. And she insisted that he call her Rui Ann.
Oh.
Santos, yeah.
You are not that familiar. Don't just call me by my first name.
Yes. Well, it's a weird thing because she, in one aspect, likes the fact that she's very much into church and Christianity. So she's very much likes the fact that he's like collecting wayward souls, quote unquote, type of deal.
Yeah.
but she's also, it troubles her that what he's doing with those souls. You know what I mean?
We're saving them, but
he's
sure wish we didn't have to see him that much.
She's a little upset that something from these souls are dribbling down her son's chin. That's bothering her. You got a little soul right there on your chin.
We're saving them, not sucking them. Would you take it easy?
What are we doing? Ron Fields, who's the former Sebastian County prosecuting attorney, said, quote, he was gay at the time when it wasn't politically correct to be gay, and that caused a lot of people to dislike him. He said the police agencies in particular didn't like him very much. He's also a defense attorney, so they don't like them anyway. He said,
a fascinating way of saying that.
Isn't that, yeah. They didn't
politically correct. Dude, it's just a person.
It wasn't politically correct to be gay.
That's wild.
That's a funny way to say it. It really is. Jesus Christ. The author of that book said, Anita Paddock said, he had young men that he would get out of jail, maybe for vagrancy, and he would bring them to his house, and they would do odd jobs for him, and he was just drinking, and there was lots of loud parties there.
Okay.
So that's what he'd do. He's just partying.
Yeah.
He's having a good time. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
having a good time. He works so he can do this and everything like that.
Sure.
So May 16th, 1981. Let's catch up to here. So Ruianne talked to Sam Hugh on the phone and had a conversation. She apparently had gone to Cincinnati on a bus trip, and she said she was writing a new book. And she used to go on these trips and say it was for books that she was writing, so she could use it so she could write it off on her taxes.
Got it.
So he was like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay, whatever. He's telling her,
Cincinnati, Ohio? Way up there?
Yeah, she went to Cincinnati on vacation, which is a really weird place to go on vacation.
Fascinating destination.
I don't know what you're going for, but it's okay. So we go for shows and it's fine, but we're not like, let's stay an extra week. This is wonderful. So yeah, she did all of that. She was, I guess it was about steamships on the Arkansas River. That's what her new book was about. So he's telling her she needed to take a break and relax a little bit. She's getting, she's 75 years old. She's going on bus trips and shit.
Yeah.
She said, I've been relaxing. She said, I've been watching the PTL show.
What is that?
Do you know what that is?
No.
This is so weird because I've never really heard this a lot, PTL show.
Yeah.
And then I've been reading a book for like the last week, and it's all about the PTL show. And then this comes up, and I was like, holy shit, it's Jim and Tammy Faye Baker.
Oh, Jesus. What does PTL stand for?
Praise the Lord.
Oh, my God. No.
PTL. Praise the Lord. And that's their big
swindlers.
show. Oh, yeah. And this is in the book, they're like right in this time, too, in like 81 when they were having all of these projects that they do. Oh, we're going to build these towers, these hotels, and anybody who gives us $1,000 now, you get a membership, or $10,000 now, then you get a membership where you get 3 days and 4 nights once a year free of charge for the rest of your life, and blah, blah, blah. And then they wouldn't build the hotel, and they'd use the money to pay off their debts, and they had a Ponzi scheme. Because Jim and Tammy Faye were buying fucking, beach houses and shit. It was ridiculous.
Fucking with her face.
Doing all sorts of weird shit. So, yeah, that book is wild. Anyway, so she said she's been watching the PTL show. She said Tammy Faye told the sweetest Memorial Day story.
Yeah. Bullshit.
Oh, yeah. She's like, it's wonderful. She said there was a wonderful gospel trio from Kentucky on the show. It was great. She said, what did you do? What are you doing tonight? Or what'd you do tonight?
You don't want to know, Ma?
You don't want to know. He said, I watched a movie on HBO. I watched Holy Moses. I laughed all the way through it. That short guy, Dudley Moore, was in it. And she said, you shouldn't watch movies that make fun of the Bible. I forbid it. Do you know what Holy Moses is?
I do. I've seen it.
It's a biblical spoof.
Yeah.
I'll read some of the cast here. Lorraine Newman, so that's original SNL. Dom DeLuise, legend. Madeline Kahn, fucking legend.
Terrific.
Little guy named Richard Pryor you may have heard of in there as well.
Yeah, he is in it, isn't he?
He's in there. John Ritter plays the devil.
Yes.
There's a lot of people in this movie.
Dudley Moore.
And Dudley Moore's the lead.
Anything he's in is goofy. It's fun.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, he was like, all right, yeah, whatever, roll the eyes type of deal. That's what he was saying was going on. So later on that evening, Rui Park is in her house, Rui Ann, and she's got her pin curlers with the pin thing in them. Yep. She's got those in, held in place by 30 bobby pins in her head.
Jesus.
Yep, she's got
it's a heavy head.
Yeah, she's got a pink nylon robe there. She's got and a nightgown she's wearing underneath it and all that sort of thing. So she's hanging out in her room. She's in a guest room in her own house, which I find weird, in like the den. She's on the bed with her arms crossed, we know, and she's sitting there and she is bashed over the head. Okay. We know, very hard, okay? She is beaten at least 10 times in the head.
She's got so many curlers there. You really got to get after
You got to get into it. Yeah, it's like a helmet at some point. Yeah, those old lady curlers were like a helmet.
Ooh, yeah,
they really were.
Some of them were soft. There were the hard ones, obviously, but some of them were soft, and you'd really have to get them held to hurt them.
It's like having a Nerf helmet on. So she is beaten. It starts out with her left temple is the first place she's hit, which, she's trying to fend off the attacker who's beating her, grabbing at everything. There's blood all over the place. She's very, very bloody. During the fight, 2 of her fingers on her left hand is broken. Her right hand is all cut up. She ends up falling onto the floor, falling onto the foot of the bed, and there's tons of blood, soaking the mattress with blood. She ends up being dragged off the bed onto the floor. She's face down on the floor and dragged across down a hallway out of the bedroom by her ankles.
Don't like this.
There's a rug that bunches up underneath her as she's being pulled.
70-year-old woman?
Yeah, 75-year-old woman.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is brutal. She raised up, apparently at some point, she knocked some books off a shelf in the den on her way out with her hand, grabbing for trying to grab. You know what I mean?
Right. Trying to save her own life.
Exactly. So she is drug out to kind of near the living room, bleeding out completely. A quilt is placed over her, a large quilt, and she's left there where she dies.
To bleed out and die?
To bleed out and die with a crushed skull.
Oh, my.
She's bashed to, absolute oblivion, dragged out in her living room and just kind of flopped there and left with a quilt, covered up, though, with a quilt.
That's horrible.
That's horrible. This is a terrible scene. This is absolutely awful. Obviously, I've told the story about my great-grandmother. It's a similar situation here.
Right.
Not cool at all. So she, obviously, this is horrific. Right away, the fact that someone would cover her with a quilt, that's a specific action.
Yeah, they don't want to look at that.
Yeah, there's a very specific action to that of embarrassment or because obviously, that's not going to cover it. It's not like, well, no one will see it now.
Right, that certainly doesn't fix it and make her okay.
No, just makes something happen in your brain that makes it better for you to do that. So that's what's going on. So that's how she ends up. And the next morning, she's still there. And Sam Hugh wakes up around 11 o'clock in the morning the next morning.
Almost afternoon.
Oh, yeah. No, he's been drinking all night here.
Yeah.
All night he's hungover. He's stumbling around. He gets some vodka to take a sip to calm the dogs a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
steady the hand.
It's exactly what it is. Steady the hand. That's an alcoholic. That's not great. He is hanging out on the couch is Santos, the guy who came for Thanksgiving dinner there. Right. His kind of his little buddy there. So Santos is on the couch and he's trying to wake him up. Sam Hughes trying to wake up Santos, and he's heating up some coffee in the microwave. And it's a bad morning when you have some vodka and then microwave some coffee and then
some Sanka.
Oh, God,
Taster's
Jesus.
Choice. That's what that freeze-dried shit was.
God damn it, nasty.
Such bad coffee.
Some Folgers. So he goes out onto the front porch. He slept in his clothes. He's still wearing the same clothes he had on last night. He has a jizz stain on his sweater. He notices he's got a semen stain. He didn't realize, I don't even know where that came from. I don't know if that's mine or somebody else's, but somebody had
came from. I don't know whose it was.
Somebody had a good time last night. We know that much. Put it that way. Someone's night ended triumphantly. We know that much.
I don't know whose liquid smile this is.
It's somebody's, goddammit.
Could be mine.
It's giving me a serious frown right now, though, right? It's not going to come out of the sweater. So he says he looks across the street and said he saw the morning paper still on his mom's porch. Mm-hmm. He's like, that's weird. Said she doesn't ever do that. Jesus Christ. Her paper is picked up. It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Noon, right.
Yeah. She'd yell at someone for leaving their paper on there that long. So he's just kind of kicking back and, doing his thing. He sees Santos in the house. He's telling him, tried to wake you up. What's going on? And Santos said, what do you want me to do today for you? Because he kind of picks up the place, so he lives rent-free type of deal.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, and he tells him, Sam Hughes says, can you pick up the place? There's been people here in and out all night, and I don't even remember who was here, but it's a mess. And then he says, okay, and then they have some adult time, you could call it, here. Yeah. They have some sort of form of sexual relations at this moment, some man hugs.
Okay.
Then a couple hours after that, Santos leaves to go horseback riding.
Really?
I just picture him shirtless with jeans going horseback riding after this. You know what I mean? Don't you?
And I also picture him as being a top because I don't know that I could ride a horse after that.
Yeah. He's definitely not fucking taking it in the fucking twins and then going there. That's not happening. And then going horseback riding.
Yeah.
Or he is to numb the whole situation. I'm not sure. I don't know how that works.
Perhaps it's already numb. Who knows?
I picture him shirtless and glistening from afterglow. You know what I mean?
It's just a whole bunch of sweaty chest.
Coital mist covering his upper body as he horseback rides through the Arkansas morning. He's having a great day.
Wake up at 11, have sex, jump on a horse.
That's what
Solid
I mean.
Day.
He's living like fucking Doc Holliday over here. This is a crazy day. He's
That's
living
fucking amazing.
Doc Holliday we got going on here. I don't know what's going on.
Never wanted to be gay more in my life.
I know, right? Don't you? Imagine that was your life. Jesus Christ. Fuck, man. Maybe we've done it. We're doing it all wrong. We're doing it all wrong. Oh, man. So, while that's all going on, Sam Hughes says he goes over to his mom's house. He said he's just, going over there. He grabs the newspaper and goes around back. Nobody uses the front door, by the way. Nobody.
At the Winter Palace.
At the Winter Palace, yeah. They say that she wouldn't open that door for anybody. You go around back. You use the kitchen door around back. So that's what he does. He has a key to the house. There's 3 keys to the house. Rui Ann and both kids have keys to the house. That's who has them. So he unlocks the kitchen door, and he said he called out for his mom. Hey, Ma, where are you? What's going on here? Mom doesn't see her. He sees her house shoes on the kitchen floor. And thought that was weird. And he said, oh, no, maybe she fell down the basement steps, which are just off the kitchen there. So
that's fascinating A to B, but okay.
Maybe she fell right out of her shoes. She'd have to, whoa, you got to really lose your balance to fall out of your shoes down the basement steps. That'd be wild.
Stay in the kitchen.
Oh, man. She just went head first, man. She was sitting on the ground still. Holy shit. So he goes, where the hell is she? Didn't see her. Then he walked into the den and he saw her on the floor, lying there. Yeah. She was partially covered with a yellow quilt. And he was like, is she taking a nap on the floor? The hell, Mom doesn't take naps, number one. And why would she be on the floor with a quilt over her? Then he noticed that her bare butt was exposed.
Huh.
She's got her whole backside is out.
Yeah.
Her ass is hanging out here. She was on her stomach next to the chair. And then he noticed that there was a lot of blood pooled on the floor after that. He kind of noticed, okay, there's Mom. Why is her ass out? Is that blood? Holy shit. Yeah. That would be the series of events here. He knelt down closer, he said, and he said he, was like, oh my God, she's dead. Holy shit. He said he runs into the kitchen and called the cops from there. Gave the address, 411 Fayetteville Road, and he went outside, and when the cops came, they found him sitting in the front yard sobbing. Yeah, so that's how they found him. Yeah. So, the sheriff comes in. Trellin Ball is the sheriff. He's the county sheriff. He comes in. They called him away from his damn Sunday dinner.
Is that right?
Oh man, I was eating. He had roast potatoes and roast potatoes and carrots that night, and
very southern night.
Oh man, that's a delicious dinner. He's got a belly full of. You don't want to go anywhere after that.
No,
you want to sit back and do something here. So he's like shit. So he's got to go over there. He was saying how his daughters lived in Alma, which is funny because Alma is where Tony and Susan Alamo were from. Remember that? That was Alma, Arkansas. Yeah. So that's interesting. So the police arrive at the house, and when the sheriff arrives, there was already crime scene tape around the fucking place, and there was already people there. There's woods behind the house, brick sidewalk that runs along the side of the house that goes back to the back porch that kind of goes, to the two doors. Yeah, and there's one at the front, too, with a brick path, and nobody goes to the front door, like we said. So he's there. There's another investigator with the Arkansas State Police is Don Taylor. He's there as well. By the way this author describes these people is pretty funny. There's a lot of well, here we go. Wayne Hicks, the assistant police chief of Van Buren, a tall, fat man with several chins, greeted the sheriff, who could stand to lose some weight himself.
What? Why are they so judgmental of the fat
why
folks?
Anita Paddock is really going to pick
really
on your physique.
today.
Man. Then she moves on to Don Taylor, though. Listen to this. Don Taylor, trim and muscled up, was an investigator with the Arkansas State Police. You're picturing these people, though. You got Boss Hogg, some other fat guy, and then here comes, this strapping... I'm here to investigate a homicide. He shows up
Boss
with his...
Hogg, you got Hopper, and then you got some oiled up, fucking muscular.
Boss Hogg, Hopper, and Richard Grieco in that movie from 1991. It's like, what are you talking about?
What are you doing, lady?
Yeah. She's just having a fantasy here.
Yeah.
So she says that he's an investigator with the police. Okay, he's writing in notebooks, all this kind of shit. So the sheriff said, fill me in what's going on. They say, okay, got a call about 1:30. Victim's son said he called the mother. She didn't answer, went across the street, blah, blah, blah. They said she was real careful about locking her doors. He unlocked the door with the key, the son, and came in. Said he unlocked the kitchen door, found his mother dead in the den. That sort of thing. So as they're sitting back, Chief Hicks, I'll read from the book, Chief Hicks lowered his voice and pointed toward the man wearing black-rimmed glasses, leaning against the side of a house smoking a cigarette. Quote, "You know who he is, don't you? That queer lawyer, Sam Hugh Park."
Oh, boy.
Which, in 1981 in Arkansas, that was considered very, very progressive. That queer lawyer is like, wow. I mean, if Sam heard that, a tear would have come to his eye. They're finally accepting me, because that 10 years earlier, it would have been, I'm not saying that's good, but I mean, in Arkansas, that's not considered like, hateful behavior in 1981 for some reason.
Him, he's the guy that you want to drag behind your truck and shit.
Them, he's like, Jesus Christ.
Take it easy, sir.
Yeah, by 81, they had brought that back down to queer. That's they would just put it there, which is progress. They said, yeah, I know him. I've been on his house on some disturbance calls. Mm-hmm. And the chief said, I think he done it, don't you? Him or one of his queer friends.
Okay, that's not very progressive there.
Well, the stereotype. Gays just go around killing old ladies all the time, covering them with quilts. It's just a stereotype by now. They call them the yellow
their makeup and shit.
They call them the yellow quilt mafia. That's if someone thinks you're gay, they'll be like, "Are you one of the yellow quilt boys?" And you're like, "No." That's no. There's no stereotype, obviously, for gay men killing old ladies.
I heard they'll slit your throat for having ugly drapes. That's
that'll happen. Yeah, they don't like that at all. They don't like that. The sheriff was like, okay. They knew also that the Press Argus, which a new guy owns now, had written some unflattering columns about the sheriff's department and their connection with a local religious cult. Oh. So they were like, maybe there's some problem there. But the chief said nothing heard Nobody heard anything because the guy said, hey, calm down. Someone's going to hear you making outlandish things. So the chief said, nothing heard me, and I should watch what I say. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no problem. So they're not going to, let's not call him a queer in the front yard. All right, good.
Let's be a little more
yeah.
to the man. He just lost his mother.
Jesus. So all the investigators go into the house to look around, which, again, they all kind of go together, which is not really great crime scene behavior.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's everybody stomp up the stairs and shit.
You block it off. You got your forensic guys, your crime scene unit guys, and then you have the homicide detective who's in charge of the scene, and everybody else stays the fuck out unless they're told by the homicide detective to help them with something. That's the way it's by the book supposed to go.
Yeah. Don't
Instead,
come in here like an 8-year-old when it's raining and start splashing in the blood puddles.
And here 7 people march in to take a tour through this bad boy. They enter through the kitchen door. They see the fridge. There's blood smeared on the fridge door. Across from the fridge is the stove, and on the floor there is the pair of the house shoes that they see. There's a hallway that leads to the rest of the house, and they find, obviously, Mrs. Park here on her stomach in the den, like we said. Her left arm is above her head. Her body is covered in blood, and under her is a big circle of blood. It looks like red paint by now because it's congealed, but it's blood. And the sheriff said, it looks like somebody beat the hell out of her, especially on top of the head. Don't you think? Mm-hmm. You think? Gee, her head's all bashed in and there's a lot of blood. That's a...
Nice work, Sheriff.
Wow, you are a regular Sherlock Holmes over here.
You've done
Holy
this a while,
shit,
man.
Wow. This isn't your first day, huh?
So glad we got you here.
Now I see why you're the sheriff. They said, is that a Persian rug under her with a quilt over her? And they're, kind of doing that, looking around. And they say it looks like a pillowcase and a napkin by her feet. How come? They're trying to, he's asking all these questions. What about the scene here? And so they find a blood trail pointing, basically that's on the wall. It's a long smear of blood. So they said, let's see where this goes. So they follow it past a chair. They see 5 or 6 encyclopedias strewn on the floor. They go into the hallway, down the hallway a little bit. They look like they find a guest room, and they think it's a guest room because it's very neat and doesn't have, perfumes and knickknacks and shit like that. Yeah. Personal effects, basically. So at the foot of the bed, no sheet or no covers on this bed, just a mattress. There's a big circle of blood there. And at the north side of the bed, there's a bunch of other blood spots. So they're like, okay, this is where it started, and it ended up there. So they said, obviously, this is whoever killed her, drug her into the den. They're like, why not leave her here? Why drag her into the next room? What's the point of that? So yeah, they were looking around. It's very, they're finding she has a lot of things in there, a lot of antiques, a lot of shit like that. A lot of, they have money. They notice that she has expensive things in there, type of deal. The master bedroom's in the back of the house. And on a bookshelf built into the wall is an unopened black purse. And next to it, there's some, family photos or anything. So they say the purse wasn't taken, and the bed doesn't look like it's been slept in. So looks like the covers have been turned down. So she was probably getting ready to go to bed. She's in a nightgown. Mm-hmm. This probably happened middle of the night. So they look everything else. The phone has a dial tone, all that kind of shit. They're looking at her books, and they're like, okay, she's got books. The one guy goes, man, she sure did read a lot, huh? Like, well, yeah, she owned a fucking newspaper and has started a historical society, for shit's sake. Shit. So they walk back in, and they had removed the bedspread, the mattress pad, a pillowcase, and a pillow from the body. So all that was on the edge of the bed, like that guest bed was had the stuff there where it was going to be, you could make it, but she was sitting on the edge, and when she got dragged, that stuff kind of came underneath with her. Yeah. Came with her, or she might have been holding on to it. So yeah, the sheriff is looking through this, and they said, you think a man did it? And they said, well, it looks like her left hand is broken. There's some dark hairs clutched between her thumb and forefinger. Hey. So they said that's something. They said it's 81, though. All you can tell is similar. There, but, no DNA, but it'll narrow it down, whether it was a blonde guy or not. It's not. Sure. So they said she tried to defend herself against a man. I'm pretty sure a woman couldn't have done the force that it takes here with the skull.
That's kind of
so, Well, I mean, no, that's what they look at. They go, who is it? Unless it's a fucking Sally McNeil came over.
Yeah.
They're, it's just they look at physicality of a scene.
The general gal cannot do this.
Yeah, but I mean, there's strong women that can do it, absolutely. So they said, well, she tried to defend herself, and she fought pretty good for an old lady, but doesn't look like it worked here. So the police, a couple days later, very similar, but when they talk to the kids, by the way, they'll say, like, we don't know when the autopsy is going to get done because this happened on a Sunday, so the lab's closed, obviously.
Yeah,
and
like Chick-fil-A.
It is. All the bodies in Arkansas go to Little Rock for autopsy, by the way. They have no local autopsy facilities. So he said, if it was a busy weekend, a lot of car crashes and things like that, they could be all piled up back there waiting. So I'm like, piled up?
It's Sunday. We can't even ship it down to Little Rock.
I mean, Jesus, there's nobody working.
Post office is closed.
I mean, the medical examiner makes mac and cheese on Sunday, so he ain't going to do it. So they say that they're trying to pinpoint the time of death. They say she's been struck at least 10 times with a blunt instrument. Like we said, 2 fingers broken. They fix the time of death at about 6:30 Sunday, which they have no idea to the hour. That's just a silly thing. But they issue a verbal report, but they say they're holding back on information from the autopsy while continuing to try to, talk to suspects and things like that. They said, we don't want any suspect to be able to develop an alibi from any of the information we release.
Sure.
I think that's why they released the wrong time of death on purpose.
Oh.
I think they did that on purpose. Because they'll do that shit. So Linda here that night, she's at home when all this is going on, and she's not having a tough time. She's having a tough time with her husband, basically. Howard is a little overbearing, and also he's cheating on her is the other thing.
Howard.
Yeah. She found a letter in his jacket pocket of a suit of his, and it was from a client's wife.
He's getting it in writing?
The letter said, missing you on Monday, longing for you on Tuesday, happy on Wednesday. So he fucks her on Wednesday.
Why would you write that?
Here you go. Why would you keep that, too? He keeps it in his pocket, in his suit pocket for later.
Right around noon on Wednesday, I'm happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fucking silly. She knew who it was. It's a lady named Judy, and she's like, that fucking bitch Judy. Mm-hmm. She hates her. She said she's a blonde woman that all the guys like. She said she giggles at all their jokes. Yeah. Quote, this is from the book, wore tight jeans and teased her hair like Dolly Parton. And she's been divorced. Oh boy.
She's out there.
She is out there.
Attacking your husband.
Oh, she is a man-eater, boy.
Tight jeans showing off that divorced ass.
Tight jeans and big hair. Yeah. Tight jeans and baggy hair. That's how it works.
I like it.
That's how it goes. So she said she suspected something when he started taking her calls at home, when normally if a client called the house, Howard would tell them, like, please call the office tomorrow. And he'd be like, I got to take this. Let me.
I got to go in the other room. Sorry. Why are you taking your pants off to go in that room?
What are you doing? What is that noise in there? Stop that. So the phone rings, and it is her brother. Yeah. And he says, Mother's dead. Oh. She's dead. And he said, what happened? Jesus Christ. And Sam Hughes says, somebody killed her, Linda. I found her in the den with blood everywhere, all over her head. Horrible to see, Linda. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
I can't imagine.
Linda says, who killed her? And he says, where are you? She says, where are you? Who killed her? He says, I'm home now, but the police are still at Mother's. They think I did it. I can tell by the way they look at me.
I'm across the street from the house. They're all looking at me.
I can literally look out the blinds, and while they look at me and pointing, and I see one making like an O with his finger and taking his pointer and pushing through it, poking back and forth and pointing at me and then laughing. It's really messed up.
Another has his handcuffs out. He keeps walking over here, and the other guys are dragging him back saying, not yet.
Not yet, not yet.
I think they believe it's me.
I think it's possible. They said, when did it happen? And he said, last night or early this morning. And she said, oh, my God, blah, blah, blah. They said, even the TV cameras are here now. This is crazy. So Linda, obviously, her husband comes in, hears her crying, and she said, Sam Hugh just called. Mother's dead. He found her. Somebody killed her. They're like, holy shit, what the fuck? Your old lady mother? Who? Yeah, she's kind of a pain in the ass, but who's cares enough to kill her?
Right.
You know, she's just an old lady that runs off at the mouth. Who cares?
Who got second place on daffodils last spring?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, who got first place? Who knocked her off her?
Yeah, that too.
That too. She's never going to come back again now. They said, she said, my mother's been killed. I can't believe it. She said, all these years I've hated her, but now she's dead. I don't know what to think now.
Yeah, that's got to be tough.
So the husband gets her a soda and a wet washcloth, and she's trying to get her breath and all that sort of thing. And she didn't know what to do here. She said, just, stop trying to comfort me. It's fine. That's it. Fuck it. She said, this is unbelievable. I don't know what to do. I used to wish she would die, but then when Daddy died, I thought God was punishing me for those thoughts, she said. She said, who could have done it? And he said, let's not think about that right now. Let's fucking do whatever. And he said, I've got to go check on something at the office.
Yeah.
Your mom's dead. Let me run to the office quick, which is a very strange.
I got to go see Judy about her pussy.
This is, got to go see a lady about her pussy. You going to see a man about a horse? Nope, lady about her pussy.
Have a Coke and a smile. I'll be back.
That's right. Well, I don't really care if you have a smile or not. I'll be having a smile with Judy.
You have a Coke, I'll have the smile.
I'll have the smile. So he said, I'll take the little red car, which is a Chevette. Another Chevette on the show. What is up with all the Chevettes all the time?
I didn't realize it was such a great selling car.
Fuck, they were everywhere. She said, take the station wagon. And he says, what does it matter? You didn't drive the Chevette when I was gone, did you? The night before, when all this happened, he had been on a Boy Scout camping trip with the older boys.
Okay.
So he said, did you drive my fucking Chevette while I was gone?
Prized possession.
She is, it's leased to his law office, so for tax purposes, she's not allowed to drive it. Only he can drive it. Okay. Like there's an IRS agent fucking monitoring his Chevette all the time.
Don't you write that off. I saw her go get milk.
With a notebook. A man bought an 81 Chevette. Let's keep an eye on that extravagant bullshit. How dare he? The extravagance of an 81 Chevette.
Can't write that off anymore.
Oh, my God. So she said, leave me alone, basically. My mother just died. You're breaking my balls about driving your stupid car. No, I didn't drive your dumb shit car.
It's barely allowed to be called a car.
No shit. So then they're arguing about Sam Hugh because he's like, well, what's up with your brother? Is he drunk? I'm sure he's drunk through this whole thing. And she's saying, don't you talk bad about him. Our mother's dead and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So they're arguing back and forth. They have a family friend come to watch the kids so they can go deal with all this. Okay. They have a lady come in like Uncle Buck in the middle of the night. Like, fucking sure. Yeah, so she does that. Linda wants to hurry out of the house. She says, come on, we got to hurry. I don't want Sam Hugh to have to face all these people by himself. And Howard says to her, well, I'm sure he's pretty well anesthetized by now, so don't worry about it. He's numb to it.
Howard hates him.
Howard hates him. Absolutely hates him.
Jesus Christ, Howard.
Then he says, and I'm going to have to lose 3 days of work, and now there's gas being close to this much a gallon, and now we got to pay her to sit here with the kids. This is going to cost us a lot of money.
How dare she get murdered? I'm sorry, man.
How dare she be murdered? Fucking inconvenient bitch.
Why is he doing this?
Yeah, and she says, I'm sorry someone murdered my mother.
Yeah.
Which is the most passive-aggressive, awesome thing I've ever heard.
She's great.
It's hilarious. So now back at the house, a couple of Sam Hughes' friends come over. Their names are Rusty and Linda Myers. Mm-hmm. Rusty Myers sounds like a porn star from the 70s, by the way.
Linda Myers isn't much better.
Linda and Rusty sound like, they do shit together. Yeah.
I feel like I could search Linda Myers on Pornhub. There's going to be a few.
Rusty and Linda Myers like host a party and there's a big orgy.
Rusty and Linda Myers amateur. You're going to get some shows. Yeah.
I'm sure they're on there. So they were coming home from church and they saw all this commotion with the cops and all this type of shit. So they stop and they notice, they say, what's going on? And they say there's a murder, the cops say. Rui Ann Park is inside with her head all bashed in. They're like, holy shit, Jesus Christ. That's fucking crazy. So Rusty said he'd known her all her life. He was fraternity brothers with Sam Hugh. Sam Hugh was the best man at his wedding to Linda.
Wow.
Linda Myers, not Linda the sister.
Right.
So, he asked, Rusty asked, where's Sam Hugh? And he said he's over there. He found the body, so, whatever. And
go get him confess to you.
Yeah, the one the new editor of the Argus Press there said he's over there. He's in bad shape. He found the body, poor guy. I can't imagine what that was like for him. She was on her stomach with her bare butt showing. And so Rusty said, had she been raped? And they said,
Russ, take it easy.
Well, I mean, it's part of it. Did they rape his mother, rape and kill, or is it just...
But Rusty's not an investigator. He's just a friend. Russ, we'll tell you about it later, man.
Wise her ass out is what he's saying. I mean...
Take it easy, Rusty.
Well, I mean, fuck. I don't know. Rusty gets a little up. You know what, Rusty?
Was there some rape involved? Rusty, what are you doing?
Rusty's got a thing for older women. He immediately put his hand in his pocket, started rubbing around.
Yeah.
Was she raped? They said no. She was in her gown and robe and had pin curls in her hair and all that. So they're talking and going on. So Rusty goes over and goes to Sam Hugh's house and says, Jesus Christ, what happened? Fuck. And Rusty or Sam Hugh said, I found her. She looked so old and bloody. Her arms were all askew and she wasn't wearing panties. She'd be humiliated to know how she ended up, is what he said. So they said, who could have done this? And he said, no idea. He said, I don't know, man, but I'll tell you what. Sam Hugh said, I'm scared shitless. This means, that's a mean son of a bitch who would kill an old lady like my mom.
Directly across the street from where I was sleeping.
That's so now I'm scared too. Yeah. So Rusty and Linda end up, they go, okay, well, if you need anything, let us know. We have to go. The kids are in the car. We're home from church. We got to drop them off. They take off. And Santos comes back from his horseback ride.
Having the greatest day ever.
He comes back smoking a joint as well. Like, he couldn't get any better than this for this guy.
You have to be kidding me.
It's smoking a joint. If he had like a turkey leg in his hand, is the only other way. He's living more of a gluttonous fucking life today.
The man already came, woke up at 11, went horseback riding.
He came, rode a horse, and got stoned. He came, dominated an 800-pound animal, and then smoked a joint. That's a day.
After waking up at almost noon.
Yeah, that's a good day.
Calling all dog owners. Your furry friend deserves top-notch nourishment. And Ollie delivers the clean, fresh nutrition your dog needs in 5 flavors they'll absolutely flip over. Ollie is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world, with absolutely no harmful fillers or preservatives. With protein-first recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes, fresh turkey with blueberries, or fresh lamb with cranberries, you might start thinking, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Give your pup a fresh start this new year by letting them taste test a personalized meal plan with Ollie. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie.
Creating really great retail experiences is tough, especially with multiple stores, teams of staff, fulfillment centers, separate workflows. It's a lot. But with Shopify Point of Sale, you can do it all without complexity. And let's face it, acquiring new customers is expensive. With Shopify POS, you can keep shoppers coming back with personalized experiences and first-party data that give marketing teams a competitive edge. In fact, it's proven, based on a report from EY, businesses on Shopify POS see real results, like 22% better total cost of ownership and benefits, equivalent to an 8.9% uplift in sales on average relative to the market set surveyed. Want more? Check out at shopify.com/Wondery. all lowercase, and learn how to create the best retail experiences without complexity. Shopify.com/Wondery.
So he's telling him, put that weed out. The cops are coming. What the fuck is wrong with you? And so, the cops are coming over to talk to him. And they're like, Jesus Christ. He's saying, turn the ceiling fan on. What the fuck? So friends of his mom are calling, offering food and what can I do for you? And he's trying to talk to them and tell this guy to put the joint out, maybe put a shirt on.
Stop smiling so much, man.
Can you wear pants that don't have the ass cut out of them, please? Put some normal jeans on. You're wearing chaps with nothing under them, for fuck's sake. So police come to talk to Sam Hugh. They say, when'd you last see your mother alive? And he said, I don't know, 4:30 Saturday afternoon. She stopped by after her walk with Marie Thompson. And so that's a lady who lives in the neighborhood. They said, okay, we'll talk to her. He said, I told my mother I saw Lusty Myers. That's definitely a porn star. Rusty and Linda Myers. Lusty and Rinda Myers at the grocery store. And they had invited me for supper, and I was getting ready to leave when she came by. He said I got home from supper around 7 o'clock, early because I wanted to watch Holy Moses on cable.
Right.
Yeah, I called my mother, and she said she was going to watch PTL. They said, that religious station? And he says, yeah, she watches it all the time. Well, watched it all the time, I guess I should say. So he said, I called her right after the movie. She told me she was getting ready for bed. We said goodnight. It was about 10 or 10:30. They said, were you alone when you watched the movie? He said, some friends dropped by, but they didn't like the movie, so they left. And so they said, okay, we'll get the names. Did you see anything suspicious? Did you see a strange car? And he said, no, just like I told the sheriff, I saw absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. Mother keeps the house locked at all times. Who has keys? Me, her, and my sister Linda. Where does Linda live? By Little Rock, a couple hours away. Her and her husband are up here now. So then they talk to Santos.
Right.
And they say, you live here? And he says, off and on. I do landscaping for Sam Hugh and quote, anything else he needs done.
Yep.
I do landscaping and I like dishes and rim jobs and things like that just around the house, just things.
I do a lot of ball draining.
Things like that. I tend to the ball crop that comes in. So he said, where were you, or were you here last night? And Santos says, for a little while, around 5:30 or so, but I left to pick up Jackie. I brought her back here. We watched a movie with Sam Hugh, but we didn't like it, so we left. But we came back because I realized I didn't have any money, so I asked Sam Hugh for $5, but he gave me 10. Then me and Jackie left, and I went to her house. I came home about 5 Sunday morning and crashed on the couch there. I got up around noon, I guess. So they said, anything else, at Sam Hughes that you'd want to talk about, things, anything stand out to you. And they said, Gary was here. He was in and out on Saturday. And so they said, no, Gary, they're talking about Gary, some girl, Jackie, that came in and out. And they're just kind of talking out. And they said, well, is Jackie a guy or a girl? And they said, a girl. Because there's Gary is a guy and Jackie's a girl. Okay. And the cop says, why is she hanging around with a bunch of queers?
What the fuck, sir?
Why is she hanging around with a bunch of queers? Which is a very weird way to put that. And women like to hang out with gay guys. You ever been around a gay? These people have no experience with gay guys, I don't think, here at all.
They're not going to touch her or nothing, so why'd she want to be here?
I mean, if they don't want to finger her, what's the point? Are they going to talk to her? Not like she's got any ideas or nothing coming out her vagina. So he said, well, we're all just friends, man. And the cop just said, sure you are, sure you are. And then he says, and Mr. Sam Hugh Park doles out the money for sexual favors. Am I correct? And then says, no need to answer that, and walks away.
I already know the answer.
So this is just, wow, this is a lot. Then he says, don't go anywhere. We'll want to talk some more with you and your friends as well. But next time we talk, it'll be at the sheriff's office. So it's real threatening.
This?
Sam Hughes inside sobbing, thinking, oh, shit, I'm fucked here. Yeah. So Linda arrives and says, oh, this is unbelievable. He says, I know. I keep going home and coming back here. It doesn't seem true. They're going, they're just fucking siblings going, holy shit, our mom's dead. So he also shakes hands very quickly with Howard. They're very cold to each other there. The cops notice that also. They go, well, they don't seem to be getting along very well. And the Sheriff Ball takes a note of it in his notebook. Those two don't get along. He does. So Sam Hughes said, if it's okay with you, Sheriff, I'm going to take Linda and Howard up to my house. I know you want to talk to her, but, they just got here. Calm the fuck down. So they head inside. They end up coming over, talk to Linda. They said, did you hear anything last night? Linda, well, this is Linda talking to Sam Hughes. Did you hear anything? He said, no, I had some friends drop by, but, nobody saw it. They all left. And Howard said, you'll need witnesses. And he says, yeah, I know that, Sam Hughes says.
Probably, yeah.
And then he gets mad.
I also prosecute, sir, and I also defend.
I did that, yeah.
I know how this goes.
And he said, you think I'm a suspect, don't you? He's like, fuck. And Howard says, of course I do, and you know it too. The whole town knows about your arguments with her. They were plenty loud. Hell, the neighbors called the cops twice on you. And so they said, your mother told, Sam Hughes said, who told you that? And Howard said, your mother called us and told us about you and your queer friends. She told us about the drinking in the pot, too.
Okay.
And so then they're arguing. So then the cops come back in the middle of this. And so they said, now, before I leave, he says, where were each of you last night from dark until morning? Sam Hughes, you're up first. He says, I was here all night, had some friends over, didn't hear any screams or loud noises. I have no idea who might want her dead. I don't know if she had any enemies. And that, Sheriff Ball, is all I intend to say on that subject.
Okay.
So Howard's... Yeah, but he's also a lawyer who knows you don't talk to cops without a lawyer. Right. That's also the other thing, and especially if they consider you a suspect. So Howard cleared his throat and said, Sheriff, I apologize. I assure you me and my wife will be cooperative, and, there you go. So Linda asks, you don't think Sam Hughes killed our mother? He wouldn't do that. He was her flesh and blood. They had a very special relationship, one that went way beyond a normal mother and son. So the cop said, well, what does that mean? And Linda said, he was very special in her eyes. She thought he was perfect in every way. She never stayed mad at him for more than an hour, no matter what he did or said. So they said, well, where were you last night, Linda? And she said, I was at home. My husband and our oldest kid were out camping. And so they got, camping near a lake, blah, blah, blah. They said, Linda, do you have any witnesses to verify your alibi? And Howard says, Jesus Christ, our neighbors will tell you she had the lights on. When I'm gone, she keeps all the lights on. She had 2 little kids she's watching at home. So that's where she was. Okay. So, and Linda said, yeah, I had the lights on. The baby and I sat outside before it got dark, took our baths, went to bed. They said, when's the last time you saw your mother? And she said, Thanksgiving. We were here. It's the last time I saw her. Yeah, talking on the phone. So they said, your mother and father were divorced, and before that they owned the Press Argus. And she said, yes, sir. My father died, then he remarried. His wife still lives here, I believe.
Divorced and got remarried.
Yeah. He didn't die and then get remarried. That would be a totally different thing. That's one way to get out of a marriage. I'll tell you that. That's also, a very specific way.
Maybe we look for who she is because she sounds crazy.
Yeah, let's look at here. And then they even asked, and you were adopted, right? And she said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So Howard, the husband, says, my wife was probably closer to her father. The divorce was very traumatic for everybody, but Linda was very devoted to her father, and her mother insisted on Linda's loyalty, so that was a source of friction. Sam Hughes also had friction in there too, and so she said they go on and they say, does your mother have any men friends? And Linda says, no, never. At least none that I ever knew about. I really believe she liked living alone and having things her own way. She would have liked for Sam Hughes to live with her, but he wanted to have his own place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's, in his 30s, so he wants his own place. Yeah. So they said, okay.
And she frowns upon his lifestyle.
And yeah, exactly. The Santos smoking on the couch, smoking joints. I don't know how that's going to go over with old old historical society over here.
Really,
let's say history society, but
doesn't seem too hip.
No, I don't think she's too into it. So the sheriff they tell like names of the mother's friends. They tell him and do all that sort of thing. They said to Sam Hughes, if you're ready to be helpful, I'd like to know the name of your mother's friends. Sam Hughes says, my mother was active in the local historical societies. Those ladies would be considered casual acquaintances, but not good friends. Mm-hmm. And they said, I don't think my mother had any good friends. Like, she just didn't. She knew all these people, but she didn't hang out with anybody. Yeah. So nobody wanted to hang out with her. Said she was in a book club. They said, was she careful about locking doors? They said, absolutely. She wouldn't open it for a stranger. None of that shit. So they said, will you come over and look around and see if anything's missing from the house? Mm-hmm. So they head over there. They go in and they go around back to go in the kitchen there because they said she wouldn't have opened the front door. So we'll start with the kitchen. So they go in there. They hesitate. They go into the front bedroom, and the bed was rumpled. Green corduroy backrest was against the headboard. They had a lamp beside there, had some light. A pair of reading glasses were on top of magazines. And they said, well, when did your mother usually go to bed? They said she went to bed late and got up late. They said, did she usually make her bed when she got up? They said, absolutely, before she made her coffee even. She made her bed. They said, could she have been reading in bed when she was disturbed? They said, sure, why not? Seems like it. That seems like something she would do. So Sam Hughes said he knew the sheriff was watching him the whole time and really, really on him. Yeah. And they asked him, were you always required to keep your room straight, Sam Hughes? And he said, our maid did that. Mother didn't think a man should do woman's work. That was the answer. So they look around. They see other things. They go through the rest of the house. She said, this was my room. And Linda said, pointing at the door, and she looked at the mattress, and she said, I guess it was a mattress that was old and crusty. And she said, Mother should have thrown that away a long time ago. She was whatever. It was her room, and she didn't like that there was her stuff still in there. So they told him, don't touch anything. So they said, this is what we think. Your mother was killed here and dragged to the den. So Sam Hughes says it's extremely cruel of you to subject us to this. This is our mother's blood all over the place.
Yeah, they're just wandering through the crime scene and he's touring them?
They said, I'm sorry, believe me. Let's walk on through the den into the kitchen. He said, just don't look at the floor. Not right now, anyway. Don't look down. Great. No problem.
That's not where your eyes go immediately when people tell you that.
Yeah, don't look down. Oh, pools of blood. Great.
Stepping through the blood. This is crazy.
Let's walk through this crime scene to see if you guys can figure out, because we don't know what we're doing.
I need to see your reaction to all this shit.
They said the book's on the floor. That's not normal. That chair's been moved. They said, yeah, Mother was very particular with her books and all that sort of shit. The sheriff writes in the notebook, Sam Hughes looks at the blood on the floor, but Linda doesn't. Huh. So he notes that. Sam Hughes sat down at the round kitchen table, and he said, well, there are 4 chairs around this table, and there should only be 3. The 4th one belongs over there under the phone. Oh. So the sheriff opens the refrigerator door. Not much shit to eat there. And Sam Hughes says Mother didn't like to cook. She brought home chicken, hamburgers, pizza, TV dinner, things like that. Does she have a cleaning lady? Yes. Josie Walker, she's in the phone book. She said that she wouldn't hurt our mother. She probably didn't like her. Mother wasn't very friendly with the help. Yeah. She probably thinks she's a bitch, but she didn't kill her. So they keep saying, are we done? Can we leave?
Yeah, I want out of here.
How long do we have to do this? And the sheriff said, the murderer beat your mother with something heavy and hard. Thanks. Can we leave now? Gee, I just said this is traumatic. They said, we've looked through the whole house and out in the yard, but we haven't found the murder weapon yet. That part has me puzzled. Also puzzled by the smeared blood on the refrigerator. Why is there blood there? So finally, Sam Hughes says, Sheriff Ball, I don't have any idea who killed my mother. Linda doesn't either. I know my mother heard a prowler earlier in the summer. She notified the police, or at least she told me she did. I'm sure you could easily check. Perhaps the prowler returned. I don't know. They said she has some jewelry, but she kept it down at the bank in the safe deposit box. She wore lots of costume jewelry, but I can't imagine anyone thinking it was valuable. They said, did you check the silver in the buffet? They're like, it doesn't look like a robbery. Her purse is here. Jesus Christ. So then Linda starts freaking out, saying, I can smell her blood. I can smell our mother's blood. And they leave. Next day, May 18th, Sam Hughes is shit-faced.
Uh-huh.
Been drinking all night long.
Attaboy.
Rusty and Linda come over, not Linda's sister, Linda, Rusty's wife, Linda Myers,
the Myers,
the Myers, the porn family. They come over, and Sam Hugh is a mess. They're trying to get him into the shower because he's just like sitting there. They said like he's, pissed himself in the chair in the night and things like that. He's just drunk as fuck.
That drunk.
And he's telling them, mother's dead, dead, dead. I keep seeing her on the floor. Oh, my God. And they're like, you have got to fucking calm down. The sheriff's going to come talk to you. This is not good, dude.
Yeah.
Like, chill the fuck out. So they're investigating. They're looking into it, trying to figure out who could it be, essentially. So they talked to Sam Hugh's secretary and bookkeeper. McCracken is his name. He's a guy. And he says that the Friday before that weekend, he had gone to lunch in Fort Smith with Sam and Ralph Ballantyne, who's a banker. They then looked at a business in Ballantyne, a business that the Ballantyne guy was remodeling. And then they went to, after that, they were going to the Greyhound station to pick up Ruianne Park, who was coming back from Cincinnati. Her bus was late, so they met Rusty Myers and visited with him. After that, they went to the bus station, brought her home. They said, were Sam Hugh and his mother happy to see each other? And he says, of course they were happy to see each other for about a minute, and then she started on him, but that was normal. They said, he said that Ruianne told him about 3 weeks ago she was going to renew a CD that had matured, and it was going to Linda, and she told me she changed her will 6 months earlier. So they said, you must have been really good friends with Mrs. Park for her to tell you about her financial business. And he said, oh, yes, we had a remarkable friendship. They said, and when did you see Sam Hugh again? And he said, I went to Rusty and Linda's house for dinner, and Sam Hugh was there the night of the murder. So they're talking about that. Okay, Sam Hugh was there. They said, do you remember what he was wearing? Slacks, loafers, yellow sweater without jizz stains on it.
Oh.
So the jizz stains happened sometime in the night, as we would expect. So they said, and how did you find out about the murder? And he said, oh, people told me, it's all around town, blah, 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 blah. So they said, do you think he did it? He said, Sam Hugh said his mom was murdered, and he said the police thought he did it. And they said, do you think he did it? And the secretary said, I don't know. All I know is that I'm scared to death. I could be next. And they said, why are you in danger? And who'd want to kill you? And he said, I know a lot about a lot of things, Detective Taylor. I know Sam Hugh owes a lot of money to a lot of people. He probably wouldn't want me to tell you everything I know. And they said, do you think Sam Hugh is capable of killing his mother? And he said, I don't know. I have to go. I'm supposed to help Sam pick out a casket down at the funeral home.
Wow.
So they said, do you think he's capable of murdering his mother? And he said, I don't know. I honestly don't know. And so
I may go pick out a casket with a man that may or may not be a murderer.
May or may not. And they made him fill out a list of names of men that he knows that have been to Sam Hugh's house recently. Mm-hmm. And there is Santos and Gary Shoup, who's, hanging out with that one, and then a bunch of people we haven't really heard of that were over in and out partying.
Okay.
So they find what they believe is a possible murder weapon.
What is it?
Which is a large iron poker.
Oh.
A big iron poker, they think, might be the murder weapon, is what they release. In the newspaper, they say that. So they say they're taking the poker to the crime laboratory in Little Rock, and they're going to find out, blah, blah, blah. So then the police, right after the murder that week, they have a man in jail who says that Sam told him that he killed his mother.
Oh, shit.
He says, and then another person comes forward, totally separate of this guy, and says, Sam told me he was planning to do it, so I figure he went through with it now, because this was in the past. So they have all of this going on, but they have no real evidence, so they're trying to figure that out. June 5th, 81, they try to pop in on Sam Hugh in his office, try to surprise him, but he's on vacation in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Going to see a friend in the hospital. So they talk to the secretary again. And they ask him about the finances of the office. And they say Sam Hughes, he wasn't making a lot of money. They say he owes between $45,000 and $65,000 at two different banks. Oh. And the secretary says he also has a few hot checks out as well. So a few bad checks he's floating around. So they said, that's interesting. Interesting. And the guy then says, Sam Hugh told me before his mother went on her trip, he was going to ask her for help, financial help. I don't know if he did or not. Maybe he decided to wait till she got back. And the cop said maybe he did ask her, and she said no. And the secretary said, I have no idea, and that's the truth. So they said, I understand Sam Hugh has now moved into his mother's home. Did he take all his boys with him?
He's moved into her house now?
Yeah, it's nicer. So he just moved into there.
Okay.
So, he moves into there. And he said, I'm not sure. This has me so upset. I don't know if my life is in danger or not. I do not feel safe knowing that Sam is... I do feel safer knowing that Sam is gone for now. So he's like scared of Sam.
Yeah.
And he says, does Sam know how you feel? And the guy said, of course he doesn't. And please, I beg of you, don't tell him. I need this job. I have bills to pay. He's got just enough in his office account to keep me on for 2 months. Do you know how hard it is to get a job these days? So they said, well, we want you to take a polygraph test. And the guy said, do you think I killed her? I didn't. I swear to God, I was home asleep when they were killed. So, whatever. They say you're going to have to take a polygraph test and all that sort of thing. So he does take a polygraph test, and that's fine. So they before he goes to sleep, he calls Rusty Myers and says, what's going on? He says, the Taylor guy wants me to come in for a lie detector test. Holy shit, I'm feeling scared. And they told him, hey, just go in and talk to him. He thinks Sam and I were, because McCracken, the secretary, is like, the cops think Sam and I were involved in some financial scheme, and Sam killed her for money, and that I'm involved, and I know things because I'm going to pay the shit off and all that. So there is some evidence that they've kind of ignored here, though. Rui Ann had a long black hair clutched in her hand that we told you about earlier, okay? Sam doesn't have long black hair. This is the problem. Not at all. He has really short brown hair.
Okay.
So, you would imagine a hair being clutched in a murder victim's hand is probably the murderer's, especially if there was a fight, which there was. Right. She has broken fingers and a cut on her hand. So they said there was a fingerprint, a handprint, and a bloody handprint on the refrigerator door. And they didn't know if any... They never took the prints, though.
Why?
I don't know. They didn't take because they're an incompetent police force, apparently. But they didn't...
Because they gave the children a tour.
Yeah, they didn't take they didn't have the fingerprints on record.
Wow.
So over that summer, as it goes by, Sam says he thinks everyone in town thinks he's a murderer. He says he tells his friends he's being harassed by the police. All of his friends are being called in for interviews all the time. A few of them actually had told the police that Sam had admitted to killing his mom when he was drunk. He said when he got drunk and told them that he killed his mom. There's a bunch of people saying that. Several lie detector tests were given to Sam Hugh, okay?
Yeah.
On one finding, an Arkansas State Police polygraph examiner concluded that Sam Hugh, quote, intentionally tried to defeat the administration of an effective polygraph examination. In his trade as a lawyer and his continuing movement after instructions, which makes it impossible for this examiner to render anything but inconclusive.
So he's scooting around in the chair?
He's saying he knows how to move around and make his heart beat different and get his whole thing different going on. So they said he's a lawyer, so obviously he could outsmart the machine, is what they said.
Maybe, or he's very uncomfortable talking about the death of his fucking mother.
Or he's doing this, you can make me take the test, but you don't have to make me take it seriously. Also, that's the other thing. I'll fuck your test up if you're going to force me to do it. That might be it also. Who knows? I did see he's still working, though, doing cases. October 14th, 81, a client of his named Richard Philip Anderson, old Dickie Phil. Yeah. Dickie Phil is convicted of first-degree murder for slaying 2 people. The jury found him guilty, but spares him of the death penalty. Okay. So Sam Hugh is quoted in the newspaper here, the Northwest Arkansas Times, as saying, Mr. Anderson is obviously gratified that the jury decided he will not die. So this was a liquor store or a jewelry store where this guy shot a man and his daughter who worked there.
My God.
Yeah, shot him to death. It was pretty brutal. So Sam Hugh is just trying to stay above water. He's hanging out with Rusty and Linda a lot. Right. And Sam, one night, about almost a year has gone by.
Right.
And Sam says, what if I did kill her?
Sam.
He says to Rusty, he says, what if I had a blackout and killed her and I just don't remember? I don't remember how semen got on my sweater. So if you don't remember how semen got on your sweater, you don't remember much. But the thing is, he had the same clothes on from dinner the night before, still in the morning, without fucking blood on them.
Yeah,
if you bash someone's head in with a blunt object to the point where there's skull cracks and there's blood everywhere, you're probably going to have some blood on you.
It got on the refrigerator.
Yeah, and if you're that hammered, you definitely wouldn't have the wherewithal to clean yourself properly or any of that shit.
Right.
So his friend says, don't be ridiculous, Sam. You loved your mom. You did a good job of patronizing her and, saying, now, mother, you're absolutely right, mother, and all that shit. You were nice to her. Yeah. So the district attorney, the police have multiple requests in to District Attorney Ron Fields. Ron Fields says the police requested warrants from our office. They wanted arrest warrants and search warrants and shit. Yeah. He said, at that point, I refused to give them the warrants. In the proof, in my opinion, it was just not conclusive.
Look at this.
So, yeah, the district attorney is, doing his job here. So they need something. They need the smoking gun. They said everyone in town thinks that it happened, but that doesn't mean it happened just because everyone thinks that. While this is going on, they said that Sam just let himself go. Everything's fallen apart. His drinking became completely out of control. He started ordering gallons of whiskey at a time rather than bottles. Gallons. Rusty and a couple other friends tried to have an intervention, but the last thing Sam said to them before leaving, presumably to drink more whiskey out of a gallon, was, quote, I haven't the least desire to stop drinking, and I intend to die like this.
Oh, gross.
Well, New Year's Eve, 1983, Sam starts coughing up blood.
Mm-hmm. He's getting his wish.
He is taken to the hospital, where on January 17th, 1983, he dies of liver failure.
Is that right?
At 40.
Oh, man.
40.
He was hammering booze.
Fucked up. He just destroyed himself. Destroyed himself. So that's crazy. So the sheriff attended his funeral, and everybody thought he was guilty, and they were burying a murderer. But the sheriff said he didn't know. He said he just doesn't know. He didn't know about Sam. He said overall, he just found him to be too gentle of a guy. He just couldn't see him doing it. So I don't see him doing it. It's just one of those things. So
he's a dainty one. He's tall,
that's what they're saying.
He's too soft.
They're saying he's too nice. They just don't see it. Which also might be a prejudice working in Sam Hughes' favor.
Sure.
He ain't a real man or nothing. Right. Not like he's a rough and tumble. He's not riding horses. He's not doing something like
hands on that boy.
Shirtlessly riding horses while smoking joints or nothing manly like that. That's what men do.
Yeah.
So now Linda, at the same time while this is going on, she gets pregnant with a fourth child. She ends up Howard ends up leaving her for Judy.
Oh,
Dolly Parton hair. So
yeah, tight pants, hot ass.
Tight pants, big hair, hot ass. That'll get Howard out of the house. So
boy, oh boy.
They get a divorce. They have 4 boys, 2 older, 2 younger. She gets the younger one. Howard gets the older ones. That's how they split them up. Okay. Howard also gets the house and most of their assets somehow. So Linda agreed to the arrangement, but then she found out that Howard is engaged to another woman now.
He's already moved on.
So she's pissed. Yeah. Real pissed. And she wanted to really fight for his shit. Now she wanted to take him to court. She wanted to fight. Now I'm going to get all the kids and fuck you and you're going to pay me extra. Now it turns into a real fight. So June of 84, Howard is fucking mad.
Really?
He's very mad. And District Attorney Ron Fields says, quote, we got a phone call one night from an attorney, and he said, I have her on tape admitting killing this woman. The attorney was Linda's husband, Howard.
Oh, what?
And before Linda said, I want to meet with you and go over all this shit, and we're going to have it out. And he said, sure, come to my office. Before that, he had the police rig it up and wire his office for sound.
Oh, boy.
So this is how it went. they go over to her house and they say, "Hey, how you doing? We got a warrant for your arrest." And Linda goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And they said, "Well, here you go." And they play the tape for her. The tape, wow, it's bad, man. So first they talk about small talk. They talk about insurance. They're talking about bullshit. They're talking about the kid.
Yeah.
It's like 4 pages of him just kind of
Needling her, dragging it out.
getting her in with small talk. Not make like sit down, and go, let's talk about crimes you've committed.
Right.
You know, nothing
you want
like
all
that.
the kids? You want to charge me so much child support? What about when you killed your mother?
Do you have cocaine on you right now that I could purchase from you? Like a bad fucking drug guy. So they're going over all this shit. And Linda says, well, the bargaining will be done by the courts on the children. It's come to my attention that they are abused and neglected mentally, cruelly. I will not make the decision on the children. They're going to be tested psychologically. I think that should be up to a counselor who works with them and the judge, the lawyers, or whoever it is. Those children are in a bad way, Howard, not just me. And I've got plenty of evidence that I would rather them go to a foster home and be cared for. You just don't realize what you've done to them. So Howard says, well, let me ask you this. And then Linda says, if not with me, then someone else. Howard says, don't you think it's just a little bit hypocritical for you to kill your mother, then accuse me of the things you've accused me of? And Linda says, no. And he says, you don't think it's hypocritical? And she says, no. And Howard says, you don't see any inconsistencies? And Linda says, Howard, I didn't mean to do what I did. Yeah. And Howard says, but you did it. And Linda says, but yours was a plain execution, what you did. You knew. I had tried to bargain with you the whole time. You knew when you made up that divorce what you did. I didn't know. Howard said, I don't think what I'm being blamed of is as nearly as bad as what you've done. And Linda said, Howard, can you? I did something terrible and I know it. But what you have done, and Howard goes, oh, that's what she says. Linda says, you have broken some yourself. You have broken at least 3 of them. And Howard says, 3 what? And Linda says, you've broken 3 of the 10 commandments. Hey, is there weight attached to them? Does one commandment, is that 30 points and one is like 3 points? Because I think murder is probably the heaviest. Thou shalt not kill is.
That's got to be the most demerits.
I assume that's the worst. That'll get you the most points off your license, right? Your insurance will shoot through the roof there.
So because he cheated on her, and is that the one she's doing? Covet thy neighbor, that shit? Is that what she's saying? He said, what have I broken? Mm-hmm. She said, I think you've committed adultery. He said, no, I did not, which we know isn't true. Right. She said, there isn't anybody and he says, I didn't sleep with any other women as long as we were married. So Linda said, Howard, I know you've lied and you've cheated and you stole. You know good and well. And he says, be specific. Where did I lie? She says, you lied to me. About what? The divorce. You knew you were stealing when you put all that down on that stuff. She's saying you made the papers. Okay. You wrote them to be weighted toward you and blah, blah, blah. So, they're going on arguing about the divorce a little bit, talking about inheritance, talking about all that kind of shit. You murdered a 75-year-old woman.
They go past that and talk about money again. Uh-huh. So they said, Howard said, but you're not entitled to it for 1 second. Linda said, I'm not going to use it. I've had nothing to use except that. How do you think? And Howard said, you don't understand. You weren't entitled to your mother's estate. Listen to me. Linda said, I know that. And they go back and forth on that. So Howard said, and there's nothing in here in the property settlement. You've got your mother's estate. You've got Sam Hughes's estate, because it went to Sam and then went to her. Mm-hmm. So Linda said, I didn't get anything from Sam Hughes yet. Maybe down the road I will. I have not gotten 1 penny and I won't. So Howard said, hold on, but you got it. Had I known that you were going to give me the problems you're giving me, I might, if I'd been able to look in that crystal ball, I might have done something about it to ensure you wouldn't get a goddamn thing. And she says, well, I can take it and put it up, and I can put it up for them. I haven't put it up for them. I'm not asking, Howard. I've tried to bargain with you this whole divorce, and when I realize what you've done to me, I've never tried to take advantage of you in the divorce. they're going back and forth. You don't give a damn. That's exactly how you feel. I do give a damn. No, you don't. If you love these children, you wouldn't treat them like that. They're going back and forth on all of that shit. Then this is fucking wild too. She says, I have someone who will sign a statement. 9:30 at night, she came home. Okay. Howard said, oh, you're crazy. Linda said, I'm not crazy. I know good and well what's happening with those children. They're fucking going off about the children. It's like, let's go back to the murder.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So they're talking about the kids, and Howard goes, do you care for them as much as you cared for your mother? Linda says, no, I love the children more. I'd do anything for them. Howard said, do you love them more than you loved your brother? And she said, yes, I do. Howard said, because Sam Hugh would be alive today if it wasn't for you. If you'd gone to Van Buren the way I told you to, we might still be alive today. Linda said, Howard, all I want for these children, all I want is to give them a home. I want to do the best for him, blah, 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 or for them, all this shit. Howard goes, oh, my God, Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine it going through divorce and your wife telling you that you murdered somebody? The amount of the screaming you'd be doing. What are you talking about? She clearly did it.
You think? She said, Howard said, you're not saying that very convincingly. She said, yes, I am. Howard said, then what was the mattress doing in there between your mother's room and the kitchen? Linda said, I don't know, but it wasn't for Bobby. He stayed in the car. He was asleep. She brought the fucking kids with her.
Holy shit.
She brought the kids. He said, you told me you left little Bobby in the car the night you went to your mother's, and you told me he stayed in the car, that he didn't go in the house. Is that right? Wow. He said, so you and your mother just had a nice long discussion while the child sat outside. Linda said, he was asleep. Howard said, your mother didn't want to see him? Linda said, I just told you. He did not go into the house. Howard said, you promised me that? Yes, Howard, yes. So Howard says, you talk a lot about psychological trauma to a child. If he saw you kill your mother, he'd never get over that. Linda said, he was in the car, Howard. Howard says, how do I know? How do I know you're telling the truth about Bobby being in the car? Linda says, you'll have to just take my word, but he was in the car. I do know that if what I feel like, if the children, if I'm not happy with the situation with the children, and you know that, I think you've done something. You've done a lot of foolish things in the last couple months, and if the counselor, I want them tested.
You cold-hearted bitch.
She goes into that. I want them tested. And Howard goes, well, you get a court order, and then we'll figure that out. So Howard says, you're trying to ruin me, aren't you? And she says, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to ruin you, Howard. I know that you know that I worked in that marriage, and I'm entitled to part of it. Okay, so they're going on there.
Holy shit.
He keeps circling back, though. That's the thing. He keeps circling back.
Coming back to the murder?
Yeah. So they said, she said, okay, here it is. Linda, she kind of liked, Linda, she's kind of like you, talking about the mom, about Howard. When she gets mad, she just tears you apart, tears whoever's there apart. So I took it all those years, and I took it from you when I stayed in that marriage. You were really both a lot alike. You all demolished me, both of you. So Howard said, you demolished yourself when you killed her. Linda said, I didn't mean to. I still don't think I did it. I know I started it.
What?
So she's saying, I know I started. She said, maybe I hit her a couple times, and then someone else came over and was like, cool, there's a half-dead old lady. I can finish the job.
This will be easy now.
This will be super easy. Yeah, she's got it all loosened up for me. Now it'll pop right off the top.
Yeah, it's a pickle jar.
Real can you start my orange kind of murder. You know what I mean?
What a crazy bitch.
Wow. So Howard said, well, who do you think did? And she said, I think Sam Hugh did, but that doesn't matter. I know I started it. I did. So completely independent of you, he came over and finished killing your mother.
What the hell is she talking about?
Howard said, how many times did you hit her? 2 or 3, Linda said. Mm-hmm. It's more than 10. Howard said, what did you hit her with? Now we find out. Linda said, she was, I guess, in the den doing something. She had a little, it wasn't a hammer, but a little something like that. It was laying on the table. Howard, I know that I did wrong, and you know I did wrong, but still, why is it that you get to play God and say, do whatever I say? Do you think those 2 children would tell you they were happy? And Howard said, you told me that you've been going to a doctor. Linda said, I went to a counselor. Yes, I did. Howard said, I'm aware of the fact that you killed once. How do I know you won't go berserk and do it again?
Yeah, no kidding.
Linda said, you don't, which is a terrifying answer.
Holy shit.
Oh, by the way, the murder weapon was a gavel. It's a gavel from a plaque that was given to Sam Hugh while he was a prosecutor.
Like an award.
An award, a plaque, whatever it is. They took it off. She yanked it off of the plaque.
What the fuck?
That's what it is, a gavel. You, sir, may fuck off. That's a huge fucking... So Howard said, wow. She said, that's ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. Oh, my God. So Linda goes on. They play this whole tape for Linda, and she's just, there's nothing she can say.
Nothing.
The cops, too, they talked about beforehand, when we interrogate her, do we play her the tape, or do we just, like, tell her what we know? Yeah. And they go, why let her lie? Just play the tape, and then that's the end of it. It's over at that point. So she doesn't have a lot to really fall back on.
What are you going to do? You presented with that, and there's nothing you can do.
Here's you talking about murdering your mother in detail. And
I kind of wish they'd given her the chance to lie, but
I would. Yeah, this is an interrogation I wish they had a video of, because I would like to see her go, so did you kill your mother? And then have her go, no, and give an alibi, and then go, cool, and then just hit play and just sit there.
Asleep in the car.
Yeah. It's like the interrogation of the suitcase lady, except their fucking computer didn't work, which was the worst. God, those two are the worst interrogators of all time. They were terrible.
They edged the shit out of anybody watching that.
Dude, we could have done a better job. Me and you in that room could have gotten more out of her than that. I'd have my fucking laptop battery charged at least. I'd have had that down. So
getting her to just like give herself her self-imposed sentence, though, was pretty funny.
That was funny, yeah. Well, I'm never drinking again. I'm good there. We'll do a bonus on her, but
I got to get home to my kids.
When they're like all cocky sitting back going, well, here's the video, click, and it's just like 2 seconds, then it goes black, and she's like, your computer died. Your battery died. Dead. Yeah, it's like, that's amazing. Oh, my God, that's
Here's
so
the tape of you saying this. Well, your battery's dead.
So Linda said that this whole thing started when her husband went out of town on that camping trip, and she found the letter in a suit jacket. Okay. She said that she, on a whim, because she needed some support, she drove to Van Buren hoping her mother would give her a, it's okay, she's looking for support. She's looking for a hug and a, I'm so sorry, honey, everything's going to be all right type of shit. That's what she's looking for. She said, she wanted her mom to say, like, you can come here, you have your children, life is great. But instead, she told Linda, I told you never should have married that fucking guy anyway, but you never listened to me. I told you shouldn't have had all those goddamn kids. You had to have 4 kids, and you had to marry this fucking idiot. And that's what you get. Now you're getting what you deserve, stupid. Why don't you listen to me in the first place? You never listen to me. That's what it is. You never listen to anything I say. And then she sat down on the bed.
I'm going to bed.
Sat down with the nightgown. And Linda told the police officer said, Linda told me she snapped. She went into a rage.
Wow.
Quote, what Linda did there was a gavel that had come off a plaque that Sam Hugh had gotten when he left the U.S. prosecuting attorney's office. It was lying down on the table. So Linda picked up that gavel and hit her a minimum of 10 times.
Oh, my.
Left the house and drove back, throwing the gavel out as she left. That's why they never found it. And they didn't even know it was on that plaque. They didn't know. They just thought it was a plaque. Right. They didn't know there was a gavel missing.
Right.
And Sam Hugh didn't notice it when he walked through. So they said basically the reason why Howard found out about it, because this isn't the first time Howard found out about it in this tape.
Right.
Howard knew about it because he knew of the mileage on the Chevette. He knew that she drove the fucking Chevette that weekend. So he sat her down.
So much about that piece of shit car. He solved the murder on
over a Chevette.
Mileage.
Over Chevette mileage. He put
I got to turn this fucking car in. I'm already over mileage.
He put 2 and 2 together of how many miles it is there and there, and he said, holy shit, Linda went there. Holy fuck. So he's a lawyer, and he just harangued her until she admitted it.
Wow.
And then Howard sat on that for more than a year and a half.
What a dick.
Until he needed it.
Yep.
He said, oh, this is the way you have some upper hand in a divorce. You have fucking evidence of your wife's murder in your back pocket.
That's how you get to bang whoever the fuck you want.
Yes.
You don't like
Which
that I'm
works.
banging Judy in her hot ass? I'll tell the cops you murder people.
That's it. I will bang Judy all day long. So Anita Paddock said there was never a trial. The charge was dropped to second-degree murder.
Right.
And she was sent to prison. You, ma'am,
Yep.
may fuck off 20 years with the possibility of parole.
What?
She served less than 5 years. She was paroled in just over 4 years.
Oh, my
She
God.
served barely 4 years for viciously murdering her mother with a gavel.
Her mother to death with a gavel she took off of an award.
Just because her mom was being sort of a bitch, which is not enough to murder.
Just because her mom gave her honesty, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what she needed at that point.
No.
She could have told her everything will be all right while she's there. And then the next day went, I told you so, Jesus Christ. But while she's sobbing at your fucking doorstep, you give her a hug and you go, sorry. You know, but this is...
Holy shit.
Here's what I think. This is why this makes me mad, is because this wasn't a fuck. She went there to do something. Why would she go there and leave her kid in the car if she was going to talk to her mom? If she's going in just to talk to her mom, she'd bring the kid in the house and lay him down on a bed. The kid's going to be more comfortable, and she's going to be there more than 5 minutes if she's looking to be consoled about her husband cheating.
Yeah.
So bring the kid in, lay the kid down on a bed, talk to your mom, and then drive home. The only way
already mad. Do you think she called her and then she gave her the riot act over the phone? She's like, I'm going to go. We'll talk about this face to face.
That is highly possible. Yeah, that's very possible. She came over while mom was getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
And that happened. But this shit, there was no way she went over there not
to harm
in my
her.
opinion, I think she's going over there to kill her mother.
4 years.
4 years. 4 years.
Wow.
And then hid it for that long, too, which to me makes it way worse. When I'm doing sentencing, the fact that she sat on it, hid it.
James, she minimized it so much she compared this man cheating on her to murder.
That's what I mean. To her, it didn't matter. That was an accident, Howard. What you did was on purpose. Your dick didn't fall in Judy. I just happened to accidentally bash my mother's skull in with a gavel, then drag her across the fucking house. And leave her with a quilt over. Because
you didn't come in the act of murder and he did? That's the same thing? What?
Wild.
He's worse than you.
Worse. And she just laid the quilt on her because she felt she's a normal person, so she wasn't, she felt some guilt about it, and she wouldn't look at the blood when she was going through the murder scene, whereas a normal person wouldn't be able to help. They would try not to look at it and keep. You know what I mean?
4 years.
You would look away, but your eyes would keep going to it if you were genuinely horrified by this.
Only served 4 years for this.
4 years, and so fucking Howard. I get that Howard set her up and all that kind of shit, but he sat on this information.
He knew. Yeah.
He at least should be disbarred, I would imagine, for Christ's sake, if you sat on murder information while you're doing law shit.
He shouldn't get children. He shouldn't be a father of children.
But I'm sure that he had multiple things to gain there. He could make a deal and make sure that didn't happen, but they were just happy that he turned her in, so they didn't care.
He's never paying child support. Good for him.
Yep. She not doing that. Ron Fields, the district attorney, said it was a crime that, but for her husband calling and turning her in, would not have been solved to this day. And to this day, people would have said Sam Hugh did it. Because everybody just said, oh, that murderer died when Sam Hugh died.
Drank himself to death after he killed his mom.
Out of guilt. Now, Ruiz lives on, obviously, here. I found stonegateantiques.net.
Yeah.
One of her dolls is on here for sale.
What?
It just sold. It is a rare 1900 sample black granny doll by Ruianne Park. I don't know if she sold it or made it. This exceptional, one-of-a-kind circa 1900 cloth doll was made and designed by Ruianne Park, a Van Buren, Arkansas Civil War history author who wrote Civil War letters of the Shibley brothers, Van Buren, Arkansas. They're auctioning off her dolls because they're so
good.
Yeah,
so
it couldn't
nice.
have been around. It couldn't have been 1900 because she was born in 1905. So it's 1920 at the earliest, but still. These richly, this extremely rare sample doll was at one time exhibited by Mrs. Park at a Van Buren drugstore for marketing purposes. Orders would be taken at the drugstore based upon her sample doll or dolls that were displayed.
Oh,
this was a display doll, and they'd put orders in, and she'd make. The richly detailed, finely executed doll wears 2 authenticating cloth tags to attest to this doll's provenance. One tag is hand-inked in script tag sewn to the base of the doll's apron reads sample, and the other is a machine-printed tag that's stitched to the waistband that reads designed by Ruianne Park, Van Buren, Arkansas, all rights reserved. This lovely 13.5-inch long granny doll has a delicately designed, serious-looking face that's been carefully hand-etched in ink. Her curly gray pulled-back hair into a bun at the nape of her neck, crafted from yarn, and she wears a small, proper brown cloth with a cloth hat with pink banding. Huh. Oh, my goodness. She's got pantaloons and everything else.
How much does it sell for?
I don't know. It doesn't say. Couldn't find out. The extraordinarily rare doll with her very unusual documented provenance is very, very fine condition. A truly superb black doll beckoning to the most sophisticated of doll collectors. Also offered from the same wonderful doll collection as a circa 1920 black cloth doll named Sally, another must-have. So you can find another one on there, but her dolls sell for, it seemed like a big deal. Yeah. So, Jesus Christ, she made that over 100 years ago probably.
Right.
And it just sold on, this is on the internet now. So It's pretty impressive. So there you go. That's Van Buren, Arkansas, everybody.
What a place.
And what a fucking mystery. Just shirtless, joint smoking, fucking strapping young men on horseback.
Santos went on to have probably plenty more days like that.
Oh,
Lucky
so
bastard.
many more days. Jizzy sweaters and fucking Rui Hewis.
Huey Ruiz in the newspaper.
In the newspaper. It's all been there.
Oh, boy.
Hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy that, tell the world, get on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts, whatever app, and give us 5 stars. It does help out a lot. Follow the show on social media as well. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Murder Small on Twitter. Find out there. Get all the latest, including announcements like this one.
Yeah.
March the 3rd.
Hey.
The tickets for the rest of the tour go on sale.
You betcha.
Hell yeah. Right now, you can still get the 2 shows in Seattle, 2 shows in Portland, 1 in Detroit, 1 in Pittsburgh through May. But then all the rest are on sale. D.C., Denver, Salt Lake City, San Diego,
Atlanta.
Minneapolis, Chicago, Atlanta, fucking Philly, Boston, Dallas. We're coming all over the place, everybody. Get your sweaters on. Here it comes. We can't wait to do this. So get your tickets then March 3rd for those, and obviously earlier or whenever you want for the other shows. And available right now is the virtual live show tickets as well. We're doing another virtual live April 20th. We cannot wait. We love those shows, and people have such a good time. And if you're in a place where we don't go, or if you just want to see another live show, do it up. It's just like a regular live show, just like we're, only difference is you're in your goddamn living room, chilling out, doing what you want, and we have a screen behind us just like the stage. It's the regular thing. So you can get all of that at shutupandgivememurder.com. So please do that today and also on March 3rd. In addition, you want to definitely head over to patreon.com/crime and sports where you get all of the bonus materials. So much bonus material there. New stuff. First of all, you're going to get the whole back catalog. Anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get all the old bonus stuff. It's 150 episodes plus.
And
new episodes every other week. You can't beat it. This week is no exception. What we have this week for Crime and Sports, which you'll get access to, we're going to talk about death row baseball teams.
Yeah.
The early 1900s, it was a thing where death row had baseball teams for some reason.
It's America's game.
I don't know. If you have a bad outing, you get knocked out in the second inning, they just take you right to the chair or what. But you struck out 4 times, Johnny. I'm sorry. We're going to have to take you over here to the firing squad.
Head on out to the gallows in left field.
It's so weird. Yeah, they're out there just to make sure. They put the gallows out there. Real ominous. And there's like an 8-year-old in every one of these pictures, too, like as like a ball boy. Who the hell is allowing their 8-year-old to hang out with all these fucking murderers? So we'll talk about death row baseball. And then for small town murder, more crazy stuff. We're going to talk about defunct theme parks from around America, which are... Some places were built in the middle of nowhere, hoping people would come. Yeah. Some places were built in good places or places with population, but they're just terrible ideas.
And when they failed, you had to head on out to the gallows in center field.
That's it. Right out in center field, we're going to have a hanging. The losing team will be hung today. Hanged, whatever. So check that out. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And, of course, if you sign up for that, you also are going to receive a shout-out.
Yes.
And those shout-outs happen right goddamn now. Jimmie, hit me with the names of the people who would never, ever, ever bring their kids over in the middle of the night to bash our heads in with a ceremonial gavel. Please, hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Jordan Bennett, Marion Kahn, I believe, Pat, the OnlyFans guy.
Oh, boy.
Know who he is.
Well, then. Thank you.
Evidently, he's doing fantastic.
Good for him.
Other
Thanks
producers
for sharing
this
your
week.
largesse.
Thank you for sharing your never mind.
I use that word in multiple ways on purpose.
Your penis earned cash.
Largesse, exactly.
Yeah. Other producers are Alice Mueller, Corporal Carl Kirshner, Peyton Meadows, Cody Leversey in Detroit. Thank you, Cody. Liz Vasquez, good to see you in St. Louis.
Nice
Steve Schnell, Carrie McCall, Madeline Ashton. That's from fucking Overboard.
Yes, it is.
Wasn't it? Yeah. Suhail Torres, and her son Aiden. Happy birthday, Aiden. Janice Hill, Brandy Huntley, Wayne Powers, and Nicole Dunn. Melissa Voorhees, Lynette Smith, for Brooke Jesse, Jamie Belts, Jordan Rua, I think, Sheila with no last name, Lena, oh boy, I just ate Lena's name.
You just broke Jimmie.
Lena Dorsey, Jordan Piercy, August Robertson, Eric Helmers, Jay Bird, Rachel Patterson, Cassandra Harmon, Tyler Brocious. Hey, wait, is that...
Scott Brocious' little brother?
Or Curly Bill's kid.
Scott Brocious, 98 MVP of the World Series. Come on.
Maybe. Is his kid Tyler? Maybe.
I don't think so.
that was with an S, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a C. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Jamie Rice, Ashley Jackson, Molly Cruz, Brett Marsh, Lauren Ledbetter, Yankee Doodle, Rob Mansweety, Man Sweaty.
Man, sweaty.
Man, you're sweaty, Rob.
Man, Rob Sweaty.
Adams. Rob, man, sweaty. Adam Simmons, Mysterious Higgs, Joseph Williams, Sue Moreau? I don't know. Colin Cummer. Gross. Brandy Bell, Bill McInnes, Jason Loggins, Elias, Josh Esperanza,
Esperanza.
Josh Esperanza, Kristen Lindell, Heather Holst, Rain Courtenage, Aisha D, Jocelyn Emerson, Hillary with no last name, McKenna Askin, Maria Chavez Jeffries, Sammy with no last name, Dennis Quinn, Matt Glassy, Megan Liebernacht, Caitlin Brine, Zachary Rock, Mary Sanders, Sash with no last name, Adrian with no last name, Glenn Burston, Kamioni Barden. That's not the right word. Kimmy with no last name, Steffi B, James Page, Sarah Barks, Angry Mailman, Mr. Bragg, Savannah LeMason, Latchy McLaren, Megan Marks, Andy Runner, Lauren Kohler, Hope, boy, oh boy, Cherie, I think, Kim Toes, Madeline Carroll,
I hope.
Beth Kennedy, Amber Sen, Ashley Kwasny, Nellie, Liljablad. Liljablad?
Yeah.
Steven
Sure.
Dukes, just Steve Dukes. Adam Gonzalez, Kathy Funk, Michael Mangoni. Mangani, right? I don't know. It's Italian. Kaylee with no last name. Ashley Lemon, Jessica Coburn, Scott Estep, Carrie Rowling Wilson, Emily Ann Brown, Sarah Rowe, Eric Krementowski, Sonia Talamentes. I got to really wind up.
Nice moves, yeah.
Ray Jones, Carolyn Springer, Caitlin
Wind
Butler.
up and the pitch.
Rhiannon Hazel. Oh, Rhiannon Hazel. Hazel. I think it's Hazel.
Yeah. Why not?
I know that girl. She's wonderful. Roxy Zolman, Amy Goodwin Dockett, Sarah Bradshaw, Tomu, with no last name, Mary McLean, Sarah Bailey, Bailey Hicks. What? Somebody with a last name of Bailey and then somebody with the first name of Bailey directly behind each other. That's bananas. Lexi Hood, Dakota Maxwell, Danielle Kirkamelis.
Yeah. Get him.
Cowker. What is that name? Brandy Hale, David Hilton, Chris with no last name, Josh Hobeen. Brianna Wilson, Jorge Lara, Nate Burns, Michael Doctor, Terrell Bird, Beard, Aaron Right to Sema, Ritsima, Salvaged Unit, Shayla O'Connell, Kay Russell, Naeem Savage. I don't know. Savage, Aaron L. Jones,
Savage?
Amber Jones. Who knows? Melanie Revel, Sway with no last name, Gabby M. Olivia Moon loves Jimmie Whisman. I can say that shit. Hazel Tiffeya. Wisteria Curry, Rice, what is that, Race? What is that English shit? RHYS, Reese Morrish.
Reese.
Margaret Spence, Dustin with no last name, John Larson, Jason Fonder, Monica Hunt, Zoria Elkins, Tammy McLean, Devin Burke, Tracy Heflin, Crystal Bray, Missy Norris, Brett Ramsey, Trista Griffin, Liam Ruff, Joe Estrada, Hosnay Abakanar. What is this? Hosnay Ababakar.
Does magic happen after that?
Fuck, I don't know.
Am I supposed to disappear or like a rabbit pops up? Yeah.
Justin with no last name, Carolyn with no last name, Marcianne with no last name, Gloria Polizovsky, Brody LeBlanc, Winter Steinway, Jen Spracklin Bradley, Alexandria Pulowski, Alicia Cianci Gorder, Audrey Sellers, Ernie Manja, David with no last name, Brian Morse, Joshua Harper, Declan Divers, E.K. with no last name, Nicole Schuldeses, Anna Lee Worley, Ryan P., Christopher Buchanan, Aaron Crossland, Paulette Blunt, Sandy Bricks, Kate Patton, Elias Wyckoff, Melody C., Paige Westover, Ida Sampson, Bobby Q with a W. What did I do there? That's a mistype. Barbecue?
Sorry.
Barbecue.
Sorry about that.
I don't know what to tell you. I ruined it. Janine Lolanek, Liz Gearing, Roger with no last name, Jeff Martins, Matt Cootie maybe, Alex with no last name, St. Canid, Tim Knight, what is this? Mikey Panhandle Brown, Wayne Powers, Stephanie Minnick, Jennifer Taylor, Jason Nunley, Josh Hawes, Debs Moore, Timmy Time with no last name, Dare. That's got to be an autocorrect also. Dare McWilliams,
Maybe
Dare, maybe not.
Maybe just a cool ass name.
Andrea Bodo Vitale, Adam Grabowski. Hey, he's a comedian. He's a wonderful kid. I think he lives in Arizona. I can't remember. Good dude. George Skull, Justin Farmer, Karen A. Day with no last name. I am Petty. Me too. Jillian Dussault, Tyler St. Bernard, Kimberly Basong, Spencer Bishop, Zach Kroon, Austin with no last name, Lisa Johnson, Colby Kingsbury, Joseph Stryka, Suzanne Gribble, Kim with no last name, Catherine McEwen, Carol Fudella, Erilyn and Kevin, Jonah Chappelle,
Whatever your fucking name is. Joanna Chappelle or Jonna Chapel, one of the somewhere in between there.
You knew I was going to ruin it. Katie Nolan, Jordan Gwynn, The Boulder with no last name, Lori Higginbottom, and all of our patrons. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all that you do for us. We're fucking just blown away by it. Thank you. We
consistent. Yeah.
are completely just we're with so much gratitude we can't even tell you. We're in your debt. We love you. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the episodes a lot. We love making the Patreons. They're so much fun. So if you did enjoy that, get on Patreon. Tell us about it. Also, if you want to follow us on social media individually, real easy to do. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. There's links to everything while you're getting the tickets for the rest of the tour and your virtual live show. 420. Jimmie's going to get Stone tickets. You can get those tickets as well. That said, holy shit, it's been a wild time. Yeah. And I think we have to go wash off after that. What do you think, Jimmie? Let's do that. You know what? I'm going to light a joint, take my shirt off, and get on a horse. What do you think? Let's do this.
I want to ride Benny.
Until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.